Good afternoon and welcome to Pembroke Cricket Club. It's 5 o'clock. It's time for the Siggins U23 District Cup. See the teams taking the field here. South Leinster and North Leinster. North Leinster have won the toss and chosen to bowl. North Leinster wearing purple today. South Leinster, I wouldn't call it traditional orange. They're just an orange. It's a beautiful day here. If you've been around Dublin today, you've seen a bit of sun, you've seen a bit of cloud. But the beginning of a heat wave, so they say. We'll see what happens here. Two opening batters for South Leinster, Whaley and Tong. And we'll see who's going to take the ball first for North Leinster. The J.R. Siggins U23 District Cup is a three-team competition, traditionally between North Leinster, South Leinster, and Dublin University. Featuring some very exciting young talent, under-23 players from around the area. Should be a lot of exciting cricket to watch today.
First thing they do is move the side screens. I'm very happy I don't have a camera up on them.
Yeah, the side screens get moved around a lot. As we wait here, I think our North Leinster bowler is number 3, Killian McGrain. McGrain to start off from the nursery end, and we're underway. McGrain's first delivery is driven away to the offside for no run. Whaley is facing. Bit of a cool breeze left to right on your YouTube screen today. Been a bit sunny. Maybe we'll get a break in the clouds. We'll be able to feel a little bit some of that warmth that's going to be coming as we await McGrain's second. That one's smack to the offside. Fielder's running for it. He gives the dive but won't get there. That's 4 for Whaley. See the replay, bit of width on offer, a bit uppish. Whaley puts the center of the bat on it, sends it on its way. Great effort in the field there, but just unable to stop it before it got to that shorter boundary. Whaley digs in and waits. That one smacked right back to the bowler. Nice loud sound off it there too, but no run. That one was also a bit short, a bit out, the width for Whaley to work with. Didn't quite get as much of that one as he wanted to. Maybe you think he should have waited a little bit longer, gone a little bit to square with that. He got there a little bit faster than he expected, went straight back to the bowler for no run. McGrain digging in, he's given up the boundary. We'll see how he responds for the rest of the over. A lot of movement on that one, called wide. Lovely tuck and roll from the wicketkeeper there to hang on to that one. Yeah, we can see some really interesting movement on that ball from McGrain. Better delivery. That's kind of in on the feet. Fuller ball. It's put away by Whaley for 1. That'll bring in Tong to Tong. I guess we're not sure. Let's go with Tong until we're corrected. It's first time seeing a ball today. Whaley's had all the strikes so far. 2 legal deliveries for him to see as McGrain continues from the nursery end. Lovely cover drive through the despairing dive of the infielder. Such a pretty shot between cover and extra. Runs straight to the boundary, right along the carpet, burning up the worms in the grass. Great shot there from Tong. We welcome in the voice of the Irish summer, Craig Sr.
Very kind, Charlie. So, the J. Siggins U23 District Cup. Great to see it here in Sydney Parade. This is the top young talent in the province now.
And we're very excited here. Non-traditional colors, purple and orange.
Yeah, but it does make them stand out.
Oh, they're very dynamic.
Oh, that's a lovely shot. There is a fielder out there, but just the shape of the shot itself was, well, somebody who plays at the very highest levels of the game, I suspect.
That'll bring the first over to the close. South Leinster, 11 for none. 2 boundaries off the over. Some lovely striking of the ball. Some great sounds off the bat. Some people have some new bats out there. Sound very crisp. Maybe we just have excellent mics. Maybe both. 1 over gone. 11 runs scored for the cost of no wicket. That'll bring Chong on strike. Let's see who he is going to face from the St. John's Road end. McNally. McNally now bowling. Wearing the 12 on his back as he steams in. Just past the edge of the bat, but no contact for the dot.
I do like this tournament. I do think it's great that the youngsters get some good exposure, not only for their own peace of mind, but for the selectors of people like the Lightning, the Leinster Lightning. It's good to see the production line is still there.
That one's pulled to the leg side for just 1 run, fielded at mid-on.
Isn't it amazing? It's the 20th of May already. We did all that waiting for the cricket season, and suddenly 20th of May.
And I'm still cold. I know you've got the hot water bottle. I did bring a jacket, but nothing to cover my ears. McNally steams in for his 3rd. That's struck well, straight in the air. 1 bounce, that's gone for 4. He went aerial over the head of mid-off, mid-off, deep, long off. You can see it there over the fielder's head. 1 bounce, boom, and gone.
Bruce Whaley, of course, very attacking opening batsman, and given any sort of width there, he's going to take on the bowler, and very successfully there to start with anyway.
Whaley off to a hot start. 9 runs off just 5 deliveries. McNally's 4th sails past the bat as Whaley kind of takes a little poke at it, but not really. More watches it go by.
You see from this delivery, he knew very early on, putting the bat away from that one. That wasn't one in his arc, one that he wanted to power away.
Yeah, cramped him a little bit.
This is a 20 over game, 5 o'clock start. They're giving themselves plenty of time anyway. And that's another nice shot. He was onto that so quickly.
That was a 20 over shot for a 20 over game. That might have been blocked in a longer format of the game, but here it's dispatched for 4 to Cow. Lovely shot from Whaley, who saw it, felt he could handle it, and took it for a ride.
He got on top of it quite nicely, didn't he? He does like to use the power. Of course, from a pedigree family. Father Bill played here in Pembroke for many years. Only stopped playing a couple of years ago, actually, but still well capable.
And his sister Susie next to us in the nets, who has also played plenty of representative cricket for Leinster and for Ireland herself at the junior level.
And let's not forget the mother, Marissa, plays for the Pembroke women. That's a nice defensive shot. I'm pleased to see that from Whaley. Sometimes you get the feeling that all-out attack is his operatus modus.
To my eye, and maybe you could correct me, Craig, that ball didn't look that much different from the last ball that he decided to attack. Maybe the other one was just a hair shorter.
Yeah,
Maybe, and he could read that just bit of height and felt he had,
Yeah,
could take the risk.
this one was just a bit further up, and he wasn't going to be able to get underneath it. So
2 overs gone here at Sydney Parade. South Leinster, 20 for the loss of none. Off to a good start. That'll bring back McCrane, who gave up 11 in his first over. Let's see how he responds here in the third over. Driven hard past him, but he's helped out at mid-on for no run. The sound here is great today.
It is. It is. The Dougals picking up the sound of ball on bat very well.
You haven't put out a secret mic, have you, Niall? There's no phone at the stumps.
He's gone full out today.
Yeah, really good sound.
Well, that drifted onto the pads, and it got exactly what it deserved. Tong onto it so quickly, putting it round to the leg side. Another boundary. You could just see his eyes lit up when he saw the line it was on, and he could take it on.
Yeah, it drifted towards his kind of left thigh, and he just wheeled right on it. Got enough on it to help it along its way. Lovely shot. Another boundary for South Leinster, who have come out with quite a bit of attacking intent. Maybe they think that there's some rain coming.
Well, I think the forecast is actually for just cloudy. But of course, we're in that time of year where you can get all 4 seasons in the same hour. Tonge on this occasion, just playing it out onto the offside. Used to play cricket with his father. His father was a left-handed bat, but his son's, I don't know, the mother must have been exceptionally talented. But Stephen and I played quite a couple of seasons together. There we go.
McGrane's fourth delivery is struck hard. That's in the air. That's going, and gone for 6. Right over by the South Leinster bench. Takes a step forward. Bang. Away it goes. Lovely shot from Tong, who really got to the pitch of the ball there. Down onto it. Sent it straight gone.
Proper cricket shot. And this time a similar delivery, but again, this one was just that little bit shorter. And he felt he had to get on top of that one rather than the previous delivery, which was fuller in length, that he could really loosen his arms at. But South Leinster going on at a very nice clip at the moment.
Yeah, good start. They'd be very happy with this start so far. Crane looking to slow them down.
That won't. That one has gone way into the houses at the nursery end. 6 scored. And these two trying to outdo each other for who is the most attacking batsman at the crease.
Beautiful shot from Tong. Brings the first new ball of the day as that one is sent over the fence and into the houses. Lovely finish from Tong with kind of the arms behind the head, almost golf swing-like on that one. But that was 6 all the way, right off the bat. After 3 overs, South Leinster are 36 for the loss of no wickets, and they are rolling.
Well, Sydney Parade is rapidly getting a reputation for being a run fest. It's certainly not the bowler's friend. And it's playing so true that the batsman is able to trust it and take on these deliveries. And it is working well for them at the moment.
So here at the top of the 4th over, we'll see the return of McNally to bowl the 4th. He's at the top of his mark and starts his run-up.
Whaley attempting to take that one down to the scorer's shed. But on this occasion, the delivery. Oh, there's the 6 again. My goodness. Not even a hint of trying to run a single there.
Oh, he enjoyed the look of it. Yeah, we're going to get a replay of this last ball to Whaley. He kind of ducks into it almost.
You could see he was trying to get underneath it to lift it round the corner and past the man who is stationed just round the corner inside the ring.
You can see the big smile on his face after the big whiff. He's like, well, that didn't work.
Yeah.
Try something different next time.
I suspect it won't stop him trying more. Nice day here today in Sydney Parade. Dry thus far. This time he's turned on it quite nicely. It was more pitched up towards his feet, but that made no difference to Whaley. And these two are flying along at the moment.
Oh, that was a lovely shot. Kind of off the bottom toe-ish edge of the bat, but got enough on it and kept it down and sent it to that little short boundary just behind him and to his left. Easy scoring opportunity for him, and it's another boundary for South Leinster, who've moved along here to 40 runs off just 20 deliveries.
That one not quite coming off the middle, but he certainly got enough of it to send it down to the car park gate and into the car park. Glad I parked where I did.
Yeah, I see Whaley waiting, gone. Smacks that one just to the right of mid-on. And there's no one going to stop that one. Couple of bounces, and it's gone for 4. He was onto that one very quickly, waited, and then pivoted that back hip at the last minute. Like I said, didn't catch it as sweet as he wanted, but more than enough to get it gone.
He had enough on it, that was for sure. That sent it down to the corner. Another 4 runs.
Yeah, Whaley and Tong so far. Whaley on 21 off 11, Tong 22 off 10. They're nearly identical. You wouldn't say that there's a senior or junior partner in this partnership. It's almost like they're twins. But they're both seeming equally comfortable here.
Well, that's it. And we found this yesterday. We had a Tulane Cup game here yesterday, Charlie, and the opening partnership for Sandyford off 10 overs was 99 runs. But it was only the introduction of spinners that seemed to slow down the rate. If you're giving the batsman pace to work with, then they are going to work with that pace. And that is a perfect demonstration of it. Just powered back down the ground.
Yeah, Whaley looking very comfortable now. Gets a slightly short delivery that he can really extend those elbows and get that snap of the wrists on. And sends it straight back towards the bowler and gone for another 4. So yeah, hopefully, I mean, you'd think maybe you'd see some spin sooner rather than later. We shall see how North Leinster respond.
It'll be a bit disheartening in the field at the moment, one feels. And here, I think the wicketkeeper, in an effort to sort of restrain the batsman, is going to stand up. Now, the only thing I'd say about this with standing up is normally you'd have a third man back on the boundary or the fine leg back on the boundary for those ones that will get past the keeper. But he's confident at the moment.
Yeah, you can see the quick hands there already trying to keep these batters honest, to keep them in their crease. But yeah, like you said, the risk is of the ball that gets past him. So that'll, well, maybe live scoring's a little bit behind here. Well, it looks like that's the end of the over here. So after 4, South Leinster are 48 for none. Top under 23's talent here today at Sydney Parade makes me think what I was doing at age 23.
It's a while ago for me.
Yeah.
40 years ago.
Living in New York City, just started my first job. Maybe playing in a after-work softball league.
Well, I was probably into my 3rd season at Pembroke.
I remember the league we used to play up at a stop on the New York City subway called Dykeman Street. We have a bowling change here. Let's see, the new bowler is Sherzad.
Well, I think North Leinster really had to do something here to change it up. Now, traditionally at a 20-over game, your openers bowl 2 each and then you make a change. And that's the formula that they tend to use. But I have to say, having given them 2 overs, sometimes you might be tempted to give them a 3rd if it's going well. But on this occasion, with the runs flowing as they are, you need to make a change. And they have done so. And it'll probably be a double change at both ends. But Shazad now, he'll come in from the nursery end. Oh dear. He went down to try and cover that one, the fielder, but it got past him, and that meant it travelled to the boundary unhindered. You'd have thought he'd have had that one, but it just stayed low under his hands, and that let it get away to the boundary.
Yeah, the fielder did everything he could to get himself in the right position, but just couldn't get the hands in the right place. That's another 4 for South Leinster.
But those are the sort of things that selectors will be looking at as well. Another shot to the fence again, and well, they tried changing the bowler to stem the flow of runs, and so far it's not working. And now, well, South Leinster have reached the half century in the 5th over, and they're going along at a rate and a half.
Yeah, Tong did a good job there of waiting on that one and cutting at it at the very last minute. It pierces all the fielders and goes straight to that short boundary at the Cyril, along Cyril's way.
Well, this time it only just clears the ring, but it's the same result. And that's 3 fours from the first 3 deliveries from Shahzad. And that one makes its way serenely to the chapel side of the ground.
Yeah, once it cleared the field, there's a very gentle roll to the rope.
That's all it needed.
So Shahzad, 3 deliveries, 3 boundaries, trying to steady himself here. Let's see how he responds.
Oh no. The one thing that North Leinster did not need at the moment was to put down an opportunity like that. It flew to the man behind point. He got his hands to it, but unfortunately it came back out and hit the ground, and Taj gets a life.
Yeah, an extra life for him. He dinked it and dunked it to backwards point, and the player there had hands to it but wasn't able to hang on. May come back to haunt North Leinster.
And there we go. That's a fine piece of fielding in the ring, keeps it down to a single. And you sort of get the good, the bad, and the ugly in the 1 over here. 13 have come from it now. 1 ball remaining.
Well, it's good to see Shahzad respond well after 3 difficult deliveries to start. Let's see if he can continue to finish strong in this over. Now he's going to face Whaley, who's 25 off 14. As the sun kind of peeks through, starting to burn through the clouds here a little bit. Whaley sends it straight back to Shahzad over the leaping umpire and straight back to the rope for another 4. So Whaley was ready for that one. Straight back, little jig from the umpire, and away it goes. So 21 off that over. Oh no, sorry, 17 off that over for Shahzad. And it's now 65 for none after 5 overs.
Run rate of 13 would be above a captain's, well, dreams, let alone expectations. They'll be delighted with the way this has started. But I will say, whatever one side can do, then certainly the other side can do as well.
Yeah, South Leinster has started hot and continue on. Do you think they're doing kind of power play fielding rules and stuff here?
Oh, very much so.
Yeah, okay.
There's a ring out there, and
1.
Yeah.
Where's the other fielder? So just two fielders out deep in the first 6 overs here of this 20-over contest. Probably won't see any spin until the field changes. Although we've seen plenty of other teams here and Pembroke teams here employ spin, even in the power play.
Right from the start sometimes. It's one of those ones where you sort of, is it worth the risk? Do you want to show the openers something different? And especially when the openers are doing so well against anything with pace on it.
Yeah, we saw that happen last night, like you said, in that Tulane Cup game here, where it was free-flowing runs until the spin came on, and that's what throttled the velocity.
He's tried to go big on this one. There is a fielder there, and well, it just got over his fingertips, and it's gone away for another 4. Taj has gone on to 39 now. He's given a couple of opportunities, but You ride your luck, and if he's still there, you just keep going. And it's proving very good. Opening stand for these two. 69 now on the board.
So this will bring on another Shirzad. I thought maybe there was a scoring error, but there's two Shirzads on this team. Muzamil and Yassim.
Well, it's the M version now from the St John's end. And that's nicely played. Proper cricket shot. He's gambled on beating the fielder in the ring. And then it just ran down the hill towards Willfield Road. And another boundary.
And one really good thing I just noticed there, too, is as you were describing where the ball was going, I was watching the two batters who were running hard between the wickets. You know, you mentioned that this is the kind of game that selectors will be looking at. So those efforts, those little things that even if the ball looks like it's going all the way, you still run hard. Good to see. Shirzad continues. That one's blocked by Tong for no run.
And again, it's a sign of maturity that the batsman, having hit 2 fours, quite prepared just to stop the next one. It's a good ball, keep it out. Too often you see batsmen, having been successful a couple of times, think they can go through the whole over in such a way. Well, that one's just cut away down to third. And you have to think that North Leinster are going to be delighted to get to the end of this power play where they can spread the field a bit more.
Yeah, it just catches the edge of the bat. But away it goes for 4. There was enough on it that for what he got on it with the bat. Straight towards thirdish, backwards pointish, but high enough and fast enough that it's going to go all the way.
Well, 12 off the over so far. And Tornish now just, you were saying about the two batsmen being just about level. Tornish with a bit more strike has really taken advantage, and he now is just one blow away from a well-deserved and rapid half-century.
Yeah, he's definitely turned on the afterburners here the last couple of overs. 47 off just 19 deliveries. Blocks that one away. A little scoot back of the hips. Like he's doing a move from the time warp for just a dot.
Good ball from Shazad. Any shorter, you'd have found the batsman turning on it. And any fuller, he'd have tried driving it. But that one just causing him enough difficulties, he decided to keep it out. Well, that's the first. The shot he played afterwards was the shot he should have played, but that's the first shot I've seen where he's just been an ugly pull across the line, and that's the sort of thing that will get you into trouble with an inside edge onto the stumps or just onto the stumps. But there you see the correct shot played afterwards.
Yeah, trying to correct himself there. So that'll be the end of the power play. It's been a very successful one for South Leinster. 78 for the cost of no wickets. Tong 48 off 20 deliveries. Whaley 29 off 16 deliveries.
Well, 36 deliveries in total, 13 and over, translates to 78 without loss after 6 overs. As I say, Sydney Parade becoming very much a batter's paradise.
Oh, the sun is well and truly out now. See some shadows on your screen. And on comes the spin, as we discussed. This will bring on Morris to bowl the 7th.
And it's not NV play.
Introduction of spin, Morris begins. First delivery is driven on the ground to the onside to mid-on for 1 run. That'll bring Tong back on strike. Tong waits on that one. Quick call from the other side. The runner sent back.
Oh,
Everyone's safe.
a quick turn was required.
Yeah, Whaley took off. Tong immediately held up the hand and said, no, no, no. It's Whaley's call, but Tong has to agree. But everybody's okay. Morris's third is caught in the air, hit hard by Tong. That goes for 6, and that'll bring him to his 50 as he waves his bat to the bench, gives a little dap to Whaley, and then confidently strides back to his crease. So 54 runs off 21 deliveries for Tong. Great day out here in the sun at Sydney Parade.
Well, Morris made a mistake here. He's left it too full. It's a full toss. And the way these batsmen are going, they're not going to miss out on those. And that one very nearly went through the door into the hall of the pavilion.
That one is slog swept deep down to Cow for a very, very, very long single. But there's a fielder there for exactly that eventuality. Whaley and Tong switch places. So congratulations on a half century for Tong. We'll see how he keeps going. Whaley steps forward, takes the ball on. There's a fielder in the deep. It'll just be one.
And this is what North Leinster want, is singles. If they can restrict these two to singles, even with these big shots they're playing, they're bouncing in front of fielders on the fence, and the fielders is well set, and that could cause its own frustration.
Lovely ball from Morris. Tong makes the decision to step back and just block. That'll bring the over to a close after 7. South Leinster 87 for the cost of none. Now, even with that 6 in the over, it was still better from a run rate standpoint than previous ones here as we take a look at the batting onslaught of South Leinster so far. Tong 55 off 24, not out. Whaley's 31 for 18 off 18, not out. So great start for the young men in orange. Or yellow? Yeah, it's more orange.
I'd definitely go with orange on that one.
You know, sometimes people see colors differently.
Yes, you often get that on the internet. People saying, "What colour is this dress?" Is it?
Oh yeah, but that's
Do
just
you
kind
remember
of
that
like
viral thing?
yeah. So let's see who the new bowler is from the St. John's Road end, as we await a little bit of a batting adjustment from Tong. He's got his glove off. Looks like maybe he's adjusting. Oh no, Shazad continues. Attempted ramp from Whaley. I don't know if he caught any bat on that. We'll see if there's a signal. Yeah, he did. It's 4 runs. Didn't hear anything, but came in fast and went away fast. You see him gets, oh yeah, he absolutely did. He sets up, paddles it back over his head for 4. Quick move by Whaley to get in place.
And very few fielders behind the wicketkeeper.
Yeah. So he had the open area to play into and had in mind to try something innovative, and that he did. Let's see how Shirzad responds.
Change of pace on this occasion. Brings the square leg deep on the boundary into play. Takes his single. They really are. I see actually Mark Tonge's father is here at the ground chatting with Johnny Garth. Help yourself.
Oh, no thank you.
No?
I thought it was chocolate. Turned out to be a black olive. You know how when you're expecting one thing and get another. Here's Shirzad's third. And he gets the wicket. He gets the wicket of Tonge. Big swing from Tonge there, but Shirzad kisses the top of off and takes away the danger man. But not before Tonge scores 55 off 24. He'll be walking back, wanting more. But it was a fine display. Great day batting for him today.
Well, he can leave with his head held high. He'll be disappointed that he didn't get onto that one. It came back and took his leg stump, but he gets a good, generous round of applause from his teammates on the bench and from those spectators who have made it down here for this under-23 Siggins District Cup.
You'll see here, if you stick with the replay a little bit, he practices the straighter bat shot. So the shot he swung had a little more loop to it, had some room between bat and pad. But then once he did the shot, oh, that's the shot I should have played, is the one with the straighter bat. But it's hard to do that in the moment. Well, either way, South Leinster now 92 for 1. Shirzad gets the first wicket of the day for North Leinster and breaks up that fearsome partnership. That'll bring on the new batter, Horgan, to face.
Well, we saw this yesterday. If a wicket falls, it's the best way of slowing the scoring rate is to keep new batsmen coming in all the time. And North Leinster now, having made that breakthrough, will be hoping for one or two more. But a superb opening stand of 72 off just 7.3 overs.
First delivery goes straight through Horgan for no run. No, it's actually 92
Yes.
off 73, 7.3. So yeah, some display here so far. That's welcome to the game, Mr. Horgan. This is the speed at which we're going to be playing. A little bit of time to get up the pace, but not much.
Yeah, well, thanks to the openers, he can in fact play himself in. But
Yeah.
the tendency is, and especially with younger players, is they see somebody doing so well and they think they can instantly start that themselves.
Slower ball is cut away, but there's a man backwards a point for no run. Yeah, I think if you're coming in new, you think, oh, well, it must be, I need to be scoring as quickly as the batters that just went out, but not necessarily. You need to take your time, get yourself settled in. This is your opportunity. Don't let it pass you by.
And again, you're here in front of selectors, in front of the head of Cricket Leinster. You really do want to provide a good impression.
Well struck right back at Shirzad, but he does a fantastic job of diving to his right and stabbing at it with his right hand. Doesn't get it perfectly cleanly, but that's clean enough. Stops any damage for a dot ball. So that's the end of the 8th over with South Leinster 92, losing their first wicket in that over. But some hope shining through for North Leinster. And yeah, so we see the replay here of Shirzad's wicket.
And you're
Man,
quite
they
right.
had wanted that one.
You're quite right, Charlie. He really did play across the line on that, but he knows it as well.
Yeah. There's the last delivery there. Lovely stop by Shirzad to stop any run. Yeah, but the difference between Tongs across the line and the straight bat, I mean, we're not talking about a huge amount. We're talking about a couple inches, but that was enough of a window. First delivery from Morris is driven to the onside for 1 run. That'll bring Horgan, the new batter, on.
Whaley's job now is to sort of help Horgan into his innings. Whaley will want the majority of the strike at the moment. I'm sure Horgan will want him to have it as well. It will give him a chance to just settle into his innings. Oh, just pushing at that a little bit too hard, almost all the way back to Morris.
Yeah, it was a danger ball there for Horgan. Lucky it fell short of Morris.
We just pushed at it, and that lofted it more than he wanted.
Horgan dances down, drives that one, but it goes through the hands of the inner ring fielder. It'll just be 1. That should have been stopped for a dot.
Well, what happened there was the fielder saw where the ball was going to be, thought he had that covered, and was already looking to see which end he was going to throw it at, took his eye off the ball, and that let it get past his hands. Wow, big jump.
Whaley leans back and cracks that one, but through the hands and over the head of the close-in onside fielder for 4. That was a hot shot. Straight off the bat, a frozen rope to the fielder's hands. He wasn't quite able to knock it down. I got to take a look at the replay to see how close his hands came to it. No, just maybe above his head.
Well, Whaley taking on the attacking role. His 41 have just taken 22 deliveries. Very similar to Mark Tonge earlier on. He waited nicely on that one. It wasn't his first choice of shot, I feel. But he waited nicely, saw where it was, and then just played it gently.
Yeah, you can kind of imagine him going down the checklist like an NFL quarterback. This. No, that one. Rock back, send it to the offside.
And that's the sign of...
Yeah, he went through the shots. Here comes the next one. That one's cut away to the offside. It'll just be one. So Morris doing the job, slowing down the scoring, did a better job even than he did the previous over. But some of the earlier overs went for there were so many runs scored that this is just a good job slowing everything down.
Well, 100 up now for South Leinster. It's only taken them 9 overs, and they've got there for the loss of 1 wicket. So they will feel that they're in an excellent place as we go into this last over of the first half of the innings. The sun is out.
Now's the time. Come on down. Plenty of good seats still available. The wall is soaking up some of that solar energy. Save it up for you when you lean up against it later. Warm your back. Wet your whistle. This will be the return of Shirzad, the wicket taker, 2 overs ago. That one cramps Horgan, but he's able to get it away to the offside for 1 run.
There was another example of what you were saying earlier. The 2 batsmen absolutely sprinted that first one. They thought there was a chance of a second. It was dropped into a lot of space. But the 2 fielders converging made sure that they weren't going to get any further.
Yeah, they looked. You know, the running so far for South Leinster has been very heads up and switched on.
Shazad down into his 3rd over. Tries the slower ball, and in some ways it works because Whaley can only get it away for a single, but Shazad is just shaking his right hand there. He's obviously taken the ball awkwardly, or...
I wonder if that stop at the end of the previous over, when he got it off his fingertips, stung him a little bit.
Hasn't stopped him bowling, and you can see he's practicing the off-speed pitch in that he's just wanting to run his hands over the delivery. And it's great seeing these young lads getting this exposure and getting this time in the middle, time to impress the selectors, and no doubt time to impress the sponsor of this District Cup, J.R. Siggins. J.R., of course, has written about cricket for more years than I care to remember, and very successful and accomplished author as well.
Attempt at the ramp shot by Horgan doesn't quite work off. It dribbles backwards, but they still scamper through for 1.
There was a very quick and decisive call from Bruce Whaley. He was certainly going to make his ground. He's looking to get to his half-century very shortly. Horgan at the moment, well, I'd like to see him play a few more cricket shots before he starts delving into the IPL book of shots.
Well, those are cricket shots too. Slapped away to mid-on for no run. You know, it's great for these young players to be able to have the opportunity to test their skills against the other top players in the area, you know,
of a similar age.
Yeah, because that's all you want to do when you're playing something. You just want to be able to test your skills, test what you have to offer against the best competition you can find. Shazad's final delivery nicks the toe of the bat. The wicketkeeper does a great job of getting to his right and getting down to the ground and stopping it for no run. So very good over for Shazad. I think that's the best over of the match so far for North Leinster. Just 3 runs coming off it. So the introduction of spin, the taking of that wicket has absolutely done the job of slowing down that run rate, which we saw as high as, 13.5 at one point.
Very much
Now it's
so.
just down to 10.3. So after 10 overs, South Leinster scored 103 for the loss of 1 wicket.
But just to say that point about losing wickets and changing the bowling, since the power play, they've only scored 16 runs. Whereas during the power play, well, there was an over or two where they got close to scoring that many in 1 over.
First delivery from Morris is cut away for 1. Yeah, Morris has played his part. The introduction of spin. Shahzad taking out Tange, who had scored his half-century. Left departed with 54. Now Whaley waits. It's in the air. Fielder makes a dive, but isn't quite able to get to it. That's going to run away. And another boundary for Whaley. It's been a tough day for that fielder in the covers there. Number of times getting down, getting close, but not able to get hands to it to make the stop.
It's a busy position at the best of times, and not a good one when you find stuff is going either side.
That's in the air. There's a player under it in the deep, and that's caught. So that'll be the end of Whaley's day. He departs after 47 runs off 27. Morris, the spinner, does his job. Pops up Whaley straight back behind him, deep and along the boundary rope. Good safe pair of hands out there along the nursery end. And now with the departure of Whaley, the other hot starting batter for South Leinster, now Horgan will be joined by another new batter in the middle, striking at nowhere near the rate that these two openers started with. So now it's a whole new ball game.
Absolutely, and from here on in, North Leinster will be wanting to just keep things under wraps. You can see Whaley, he knew he hadn't got all of it. He was hoping that their luck was going to be on his side, or a breeze would carry the ball away from the fielder. It wasn't to be, and he heads back to the pavilion. It's just off the toe of the bat. He had to reach for it a little bit, and that meant that he didn't get enough on it to clear the rope, and instead the fielder took a very nice catch.
So 2 wickets down here after 10.5 overs. The new batter is O'Brien, who will face the spinner Morris.
Well, O'Brien, one Railway Union player, taking over from the other. Whaley and O'Brien, 2 of the top order for Railway firsts this season. In fact, I think Rob might even be captain of Railway this season.
O'Brien asking for some adjustments to the side screen. Side screen, sight screen. Sight screen. It's for sight. That's not on the side.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Well, this one just played down the ground.
See, I like that when I'm batting. I like to have a good start, a nice drive, something on the ground just to hear it off my bat, know that the bat is there. Faster ball darted in by Morris. That's in the air, but it's going to find turf. There's nobody home. Horgan gets away with one that very easily could have gone closer to a fielder, but in the case of this, there were 4 purple shirts converging on basically the biggest area of open grass we could find out here. So fortunate for Horgan, but Morris doing the job now, getting some of these shots up in the air, and that's the job.
O'Brien, of course, left-handed as well, and that left-hand, right-hand might just cause a few problems for the North Leinster bowlers, although Morris seems to be adapting quite well to it at the moment.
Another good over for North Leinster. Gives up 7, but takes the hot wicket of Whaley. At the end of 11, South Leinster are 110 for 2, but I think the story now is the difference between the power play and what's happened since. Here's the replay of the wicket.
Yeah,
Morris pops up Whaley.
He just really didn't get his feet across to it, and as a result, it was the bottom of the bat that made contact, and that meant that, well, Bruce Whaley departed for 47.
So you see the batting card here. Hot start from Whaley and Tonge has slowed down, and Shirzad continues. His first delivery is dug out of the ground.
This has been a good spell from... It's the different Shirzad this time. I presume they're related.
Yes, Mr. Yassine Shirzad.
He's into his second over. $110 for 2 off 67, so they're still going along at a fair lick.
Slower ball catches the underside of the bat. Keeper moves to his left, stops it. They're going to try to take a quick run. The throw comes in, misses the stumps, and Horgan is safe.
Nice bit of backing up all the same. It's so easy that when the ball is down that end to switch off. So to be alert to the chance of the wicketkeeper throwing to the far end. Good cricket all round. Nelson is the score now. 1-1-1 for 2. You don't see, since the passing of David Shepherd, you don't see too many people hopping on one leg, as used to be the way.
After that explosive start from the two openers for South Leinster, things have slowed way down. Momentum feels like it's swinging in the purple-shirted direction of North Leinster as Shirzad continues. Bit of whiff is cut away. Fielder goes for it, is able to stop it before it hits the boundary, throws in from his knees. And it's just going to be 2 runs.
But it was a good 2 runs saved as well. Fine effort. And he went down to the ground, and he's a bit slow coming up.
Yeah, just the 1 run off it.
And that's all down to that fielder.
That fielder is Killian McGrain, who bowled earlier.
Still willing to throw himself around, I suppose. 23-year-olds.
Oh, you're not playing if your uniform's not dirty. Great effort from McGrain.
Nice gather as well.
Shirzad continues. Swing and a miss straight into the keeper's hands. Building up to be another good over for Shirzad. Just the sheer amount of... It feels like with so much pressure from the batting side in the first 6 overs, it's now been all bowling pressure ever since.
Since the power play, really. The over after the power play did go for 9, but since then, 5, 8, 3, 7... They really have sort of tugged it back from that, as we say, 13 and over. We saw the run rate at one stage.
That one's way down leg side. That'll be called a wide.
Brian very aware he was safe enough there.
So O'Brien, the lefty, is 2 off 3. Horgan's been around for 15 deliveries with 7 runs off them. What kind of attack South Leinster will be able to build back up now, we'll see. That one struck by O'Brien to the offside. Fielded in the deep for 1.
It's great to see this level of representative cricket at Pembroke. We often see the underage groups on a Sunday morning or Saturday morning, but to take centre stage on a Wednesday night.
Yeah, it's great to see so many young players get a chance to express their skills. All those hours in the nets by themselves. Here they get a chance to shine. Shirzad steams in.
Well, it is really the week for youth cricket. The secondary schools final was yesterday. King's Hospital defeated Wesley College as the end of the 12th over arrives. And just 4 off that over. Again, the run rate... And I don't think South Leinster will be too concerned because they got off to such a good start. You don't continue at the same pace.
I'd love to see the worm. Can we do the worm?
If we have time there, Johnny.
Yeah, it takes a while. Well, as the field changes here, yeah, Morris might start again because he's the spinner. But yeah, when we get the worm, yeah, you just see it kind of go straight to orbit, go straight to the stratosphere, and then kind of level off quite quickly.
Morris into his final over then.
His first ball was driven to mid-on for 1 run. Yeah, we can't say enough about what Morris has done.
He
to
really
kind
has
of steady things, and then also the wicket of Shirzad as well.
He really has pulled back the South Leinster assault back to a more, shall we say, reasonable level. But they're still nearly at 9.5 and over. That's suggesting a target that they'd be looking for of 180. But I think with the way that North Leinster have sort of almost tugged this game back towards themselves.
Yeah, it's the numbers, but it's not the numbers as we await Morris's third delivery. That one's plucked up, a fuller ball, and that's the first boundary we've seen in a while. O'Brien does a good job waiting on this one. Gets down to one knee, and away it goes. 1 pop, and then 4. But to your point, if you just looked at the numbers, if you just tuned in, you'd be like, oh, well, you know, what a fantastic start. And it is a fantastic start, but the way in which it started.
And as we say, the way that North Leinster have sort of pegged it back a bit since that 7th over.
Yeah, the vibe behind the number is more even than the number might make you think it is.
Yep. 120 for 2.
Oh, good delivery from Morris. He cramped the batter, but they're still going to scamper through. He dove to his right, and he stopped the ball from getting any deeper, but the runners were very attentive, and they scampered through for 1. It's more good, aggressive running that we've been talking about here from South Leinster continues. Every run on offer is being greedily gobbled up. That brings O'Brien, the lefty, back on strike. It's struck to the offside, straight in the hands, or yeah, to the mid-off, or to cover.
That's highly appropriate. The last ball should be a dot from Morris. It's a fine spell from him. 1 for 31 from 4 when you think of the assault that was going on. He came on in the 7th over, and he's bowled quite well, including picking up that wicket, and he certainly has helped North Leinster peg this South Leinster side back a little bit.
Yeah, and you like to see that kind of the resilience of these players and how they respond, and they face that difficult situation and steady themselves and perform.
34 off the last 7, including 2 wickets, just shows how well North Leinster have done. And it was the introduction of spin, Morris, that primarily gave them that. But of course, the pressure that Morris was putting on at one end then allowed
Muzamil Shirzad to take the wicket.
Yeah.
So this brings back Yassine Shirzad
in for his 3rd over now. And again, you get the feeling that the South Leinster batsmen prefer pace. Big dark cloud to our left now. Still shadows on the pitch here, and we'll enjoy those as long as we can. But there is what I would call rain-bearing cloud off to the left. Now, whether it decides to drop it here or somewhere else, we keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, to play cricket in this country, you have to be half a agricultural scientist, half a meteorologist, half a physicist.
And 100% a cricketer.
Yeah, it all helps. That brings back O'Brien, the lefty, striking at 100. 8 runs off 8 deliveries. Shirzad steams in. Ooh, that one kind of zigzagged straight past O'Brien's face. He went to block it, but it just kind of zigged out of the way, but for no run. It was a very interesting dot with no contact of the bat at all, but enough to elicit a few oohs and ahs from the field. Good delivery from Shirzad, some late movement.
just run up not quite right. And I like to see that from young bowlers. Sometimes you can feel your run up's not right, but you think, oh, I can get away with this, and you come in and bowl it, and those are the balls that go for 4.
Yeah.
You're far better off to stop your run up and say, no, this isn't right.
Yeah, sign of maturity that you know what's going on within yourself.
That's a super delivery. O'Brien looking just to play it down to third with that pace and that height, but he did well not to get an edge through to the keeper.
Yeah, last couple deliveries, they've kind of moved away from the left-hander, and he's almost wanted to get a little bit of a blade on it, but hasn't been able to. 2 good deliveries from Shirzad. He's working on a very good over. Now, he came in for a little bit of tap in his first over, which was during the power play, but since then, he's bowled better. That one struck back over his head. The fielder in the deep stops it after 1 bounce. It'll just be 1 run.
But again, you can see South Leinster now. These 2 batsmen, they've been in for a little bit, few overs now. They came together basically 4 overs ago, and you get the feeling now that they're feeling more comfortable in the middle. They're seeing the ball a bit better, and they're going to be looking for boundaries again. The acceleration from here on in. You've 8 wickets in hand and just 7 overs left. It's time to take them on. That one just...
A little bit too much mustard on that one.
Well, you try to push it through a bit quicker, and that often results in a lack of control. But I don't think you'll be too unhappy at that. The amount of extras has actually been amazingly small compared to some games we've seen in Sydney Parade so far this year. But again, it's a reflection of the talent.
Horgan tries the ramp, doesn't come off. He's tried a few of those innovative shots, hasn't quite been able to land one yet. But I don't know. I mean, if you're seeing that from the batter, do you think that's reflective of the pressure to score boundaries, but not feeling like they're able to do it with kind of more regular cricket shots?
Yeah, again, it's a maturity thing, and you just feel that you need to swing and swing hard, and then you lose all your timing and shape. That, on the other hand, was a lovely cricket shot.
That swung hard, and that's nearly in the car park. That's gone. So after trying the ramp, Horgan says, maybe I'll be a little bit more traditional, and Slog sweeps that one right over Cow. And that was 6 right off the bat. There's the replay. Boom. Finishes high and turns around. Doesn't even need to think about running.
There was no intent to take a single there, that was for sure. That one went a long way past the rope. 6 runs and 130 for 2 off 14 overs. There's 36 deliveries left. Runner ball gets them up to 166, but I suspect with 8 wickets in hand at the moment, they're going to want to go, well, let's say they go at 9 and over. 6 9s 54, 180.
Yeah, we'll see more shots like that from Horgan, no doubt. That's an announcement of intent to push the pedal down to the floor. A bit of conversation here amongst the men in purple, because we know that Morris is done for the day. So let's see who comes in to replace him.
And a lot depends on who they have in the side, who can provide them with a spin option here. They'll have seen how well Morris did and be hoping that, well, another spinner wouldn't be the worst thing. That wind is, you can feel the temperature dropping now.
Yeah, yeah. That's enough to make me think that there is rain in those clouds.
This one, the umpires are conferring. We'll have a look at the bowling card so far. North Leinster toiling. 6 bowlers used.
Yeah, McGrain and McNally had a tough start, but then once Morris came in...
Ah, look, there's 3 Shahzads.
3 Shahzads. Oh, my goodness. I missed that one. Numbers 2, 4, and 14.
There's a Mil Shahzad, just 3 deliveries. That means Mohammed will only have 1 over left.
And it was Mohammed, excuse me, it was Mohammed who took the wicket of Tonge earlier, not Muzamil. What do you reckon that discussion was about?
Well, I'm not sure what the umpires were
to get a ball. No, well, the ball was recovered. It was hit to here.
Did it come back?
It did, yeah.
I think it bounced into the garden.
Well,
And as I say, you saw there the extras, not an amazingly high total.
yeah, I think that's what you'd hope to see from a representative team. Back to live action here.
I think they found another spinner, Charlie.
We don't expect this spinner's name will be Shirzad, but it could be. Oh, wait. Right, sorry. So we're still mid over. That wasn't even an over change.
Yes.
Yeah. That was just a delay tracing a ball.
Well, I think what it is the
Yeah.
bowler at this end has actually injured. And so
Okay.
somebody else is coming in to bowl these 3 deliveries.
Right, okay. That one's cut away to the offside. Fielder in the deep will hold to 1. We're very confident in our friends at the LCUSA to keep a very watchful eye on all the proceedings. We wait when they wait. We start when they start.
Can't start without them.
We're very grateful to have them here.
So, KSM.
This could, well, wearing number 4 is Shirzad, but this player is wearing number 4. Well, we'll figure out who the player is in a moment. 5th delivery of this over is driven away to the offside. Fielder dives for it, but it goes the way for 4. Wasn't able to quite get there. Horgan waited on that one and then struck. And with those last couple of boundaries and that big 6 at the end of the last over, his strike rate's creeping back up.
Good use of the feet, gave himself room outside off, swung the hands and found the fence. 4 more runs.
Yeah, we'll see if this tendency to keep accelerating continues for South Leinster, which we imagine it will with so many wickets in hand and not that many deliveries left. So we are thinking that there's only 1 delivery left in this over because this was a bowling replacement due to injury, we suspect.
No, I think this is a full over from KSM.
I'm very confused. But what else is new? As well, the delay here is we're searching for a ball that was in the magical shrubs that eat cricket balls along the pavilion here at City Parade.
Sometimes you feel it's like another entrance to Narnia when the ball goes into those hedges.
Yeah, or an entrance, yeah.
It's back now.
That was short and knocked away, but straight to the cover fielder's hands for no run.
That was a bit wider. It's in the air, and it safely makes it to another hedge. 6 runs, and there is the acceleration that we were talking about. And suddenly there's 11 off the first 4 balls of the over, and you get the sense that South Leinster have said, right, we're in now.
Yeah, it's a shorter 6, but it's a 6 nonetheless in the book.
Never really at the pitch of the ball, but the arms were long enough to get the bat to it. And it landed very nicely on top of
a hedge, not underneath one.
Goes for the repeat, and the result, well, it's a 4 on this occasion, but it's a very similar area of the ground, and they're definitely deciding to take on the spinner now, where Morris had in fact brought the run rate down. It's now starting to pick up again.
And another hard hit ball, but the fielder's in the right place at the right time. That'll just be 1 run. And that'll be the end of the over. So after 15, South Leinster, 146 for 2. So big, big rocket ship straight up on the worm in the first 6 overs, leveled out, and now looks like they've got stage 2 of the booster rocket here.
And they're certainly looking to push on now. 8 wickets in hand. 5 overs to go. O'Brien will feel that he's in now. And Horgan, well, he's demonstrating that now he's in. He's seeing the ball well, and he's willing to take on the bowlers.
Yeah, Horgan's pretty tall. He's got long arms. He was able to put them to good use in that last over with that 6. Didn't strike it perfectly, but got enough on it to deposit it on top of a piece of shrubbery. That'll start the 16th here. He continues on and strikes that one beautifully over the head of mid-off. And that'll go for a 1-bounce 4.
And that shot there brings up 150 for the South Leinster 11 in this J.S. Siggins U23 District Cup.
He had a real look of Harry Brook about him in that shot. He's tall and he didn't move the legs. You know, just all arms.
And sometimes they have the strength for that. Well, that one's coming down towards us. It could land somewhere near Niall. And it hits the scoreboard. That's a fine shot. Another big shot from Horgan. And from going from a place where he was just playing himself in, he's now moved on to 41 off just 27 deliveries, which just goes to show how quickly you can catch up with a scoring rate.
Horgan playing like Robert Redford in the natural, hits the cover off the ball and knocks out the clock at Wrigley Field, smacks the scoreboard, which seems to still be functioning. Another hard ball, but that's in the air, and that's taken. So Horgan wasn't able to give that one the ride that he wanted, but the fielder was right there and took the catch. Fell down with the catch.
I think it was a less a fall down and more a controlled lowering of the body to the ground.
I would agree with you, but he's still on the ground, but now he gets up. So Horgan is dismissed for 41.
So he just carved away off the outside edge of the bat, and that's what took away all the power. And it lopped up quite nicely, and the fielder making absolutely sure.
Very similar delivery to the 6 he just hit against the scoreboard here, the previous delivery. Very similar swing, completely different result. The difference between a couple of centimeters either way on the bat. And that's the end of Horgan's day. But a good day it was. You know, he took his time building up, but he certainly put on a good score for South Leinster.
Well, he came in at the fall of the first wicket, which was the 8th over. He departs in the 16th. And himself and O'Brien managed a partnership of 48. And for the second wicket, there was a partnership of 16. So he's been there since the score was 92. He's seen the score reach 156, and he got 35 of those. But a fine catch, a safe catch, and it brings North Leinster another new batsman. Well, the umpire has given that one out LBW. We have 2 wickets in the over.
Before we even learned this batter's name, Dykstra.
Sebastian from Merion comes and goes first ball.
And I didn't even get to make a Lenny Dykstra joke. Here's the replay. It's a Yorker. It's right on the feet. It hits the feet, and the finger goes up immediately. I guess the umpire judged it would have been crashing into leg stump. Dykstra departs for no runs. LBW. Umpire didn't waste much time. And that was that.
Seb is a fine batsman for Merion. Played for their firsts. Is a very good batsman, but on this occasion, he got hit on the foot, and the umpire sent him on his way. And that's 2 in 2 balls. And that means that Shazad is on a hat-trick.
Shazad on the hat-trick, and it all happened very quickly right there. So 2 wickets fall in 2 balls. Hopefully be able to tell you who Shazad is facing.
Hat-trick ball. It's a big appeal, and the umpire turns this one down. It must have been tight. But that was exactly the sort of ball you want to bowl as a hat-trick ball. It gave him every opportunity.
I mean, if you're Shazad, I don't. Oh yeah, that's the replay of the LBW call for Dykstra. But if you're Shazad on a hat-trick ball, that is an in-swinging Yorker as our friend James would say.
This occasion, the umpire deciding it might have gone down leg. Back live.
Another one down the leg side. That one's called wide. So Shazan's bringing out the toe crunchers here. It's worked well for him a couple times, but this one has been called a wide. Oh, he's really attacking now. He's got his tail up.
They're bringing mid on.
There's the hat trick ball. Ooh, it almost looked like it hit on the underside of the foot.
Well, I think there may have been some bat involved there. That may have been the only thing that saved Johnson.
O'Brien, a quick call for one as he dumps it into the offside. Try to settle the ship after a very eventful over. A 4, a 6, a caught wicket, and then an LBW, and then a very close call. Here's the hat trick ball. Ah, yeah, bat involved. Bat involved. Very
And you
clearly
can see the
from
way
that
he held
angle.
the bats. That's where I took it from.
Very clearly from that angle. So yes, there was a reason why the finger didn't go up, and it was the right call. After 16 overs, South Leinster 159 for the cost of 4 wickets. But yeah, it was a very eventful 16th.
A little bit of everything for everyone there. South Leinster will be pleased with the fact that they put on 13 runs during that over, but North Leinster will be delighted they took 2 wickets.
I mean, if you were Coach Andrew Pointer of the North Leinster, you'd be delighted with this result based on how the first 6 overs went.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They really have pegged it back. 72 runs, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, in 10 overs compared to 78 in 6 overs. So they're forcing South Leinster to earn their runs more now. 4 overs to go in this first innings.
This will bring back McNally, who was one of the opening bowlers, I believe.
Yep.
Bowled in a power play, and now he's going to face the lefty O'Brien from the nursery end. McNally's moving some players around.
The North Leinster captain going back to his openers. McNally will probably bowl this, the 17th and the 19th from the nursery end. This one pulled away towards the clubhouse. 2 fielders converged. They both get there at the same time.
They called 2, but didn't make the second. And the great clean field off the boundary, the quick reaction throw in, the play, and you can see it there, and he's run out, didn't make his ground. We thought it was an easy 2, but that fielder out in the deep didn't agree with us. Very cleanly handled that ball. Great awareness to fire it into the keeper. And O'Brien, trying to stretch a single into a double, comes up that bit short.
Well, he was always going to be struggling here. It's that time of the innings where you have to take on these ones and hope that the throw is errant or hope that you can get home somehow. You're relying more on a mistake from the fielders than you are at your own great speed. And once you leave it at that rate, and you're playing the top under 23 players in the province, the chances are they're not going to make a mistake. And it left O'Brien a good few feet short of his ground. And now with just under 4 overs to go, 160 on the board. Again, we're still looking at that total of 180. Maybe not the 200 that the openers suggested the side might get. But North Leinster have pegged this back a bit. And now 160 for 5. And in fact, South Leinster have lost 3 wickets for 3 runs.
Yeah, North Leinster on the front foot now. McNally making some field adjustments. We'll tell you who the new batter is when we find out. Modest appeal, but not given. 1 run scampered through on the leg by. The batter is De Beer.
Another gentleman we've seen here at Sydney Parade before. Stephen, just at the break of innings.
Yeah, okay.
We'll bring Just 3.5 overs to go now, and then during the break we'll have a quick word with Stephen Tonge, father of Mark, who batted so well for his half-century at top here for South Leinster. And we might just take a few minutes of Stephen's time at the break. So 2 batsmen, they face 2 balls between them. That's ideal for North Leinster as you hit this, what some commentators would call the finishing straight of the innings. That's nicely clipped away. Johnson off the mark.
Yeah, Johnson does a good job of picking up that ball. Yeah, but I keep coming back to, after that amazing start, to have you know, like you said, you just look at the number and you think it's a good number, but if you know the backstory of how it came to be, you'd think you'd want more. McNally steams in.
This is clipped nicely away, but again, field well set, deep just behind square. Hardly had to move at all to collect that one on the first bounce. And that lets De Beer get off the mark.
Yeah, there'll be plenty of intent out there now, with wickets remaining.
There will be a degree of urgency for the South Leinster batsmen now. The call is for 2, and again, they're taking on the goodwill of the fielder.
Direct hit, but safe.
Nicely fielded, but on this occasion, the 2 is successful. Really put some power into that running, didn't he? And he got there just in time.
Yeah, good call. Umpire in the right place at the right time. Yeah, dumped it into space. Quick call of 2. Some hard running all the way. Johnson drives that one too deep. Offside. Long off. Thank you, Craig.
So the batsmen each with 1 run to their name, 3 overs to go. 168 for 5. Another decent over for South Leinster, even with the loss of the wicket, but they're now chasing runs. 3 overs to go, 5 wickets in hand. You get the feeling they really are going to just, well, if not just swing for the ropes, they're certainly going to be scampering with all undue speed.
I think it's clear, yeah, Johnson and De Beer understand the assignment here, which is maximum lumber, maximum speed. We'll see how many runs they're able to tack on here. These may all be critical as we come to the finish. Poked away by De Beer through the infield for just 1. Bring back Johnson. It's a good law firm name, Johnson and De Beer.
or diamond merchants.
Yes. Back and across, steps Johnson. He drives that to the offside. Fielder's got it, just 1 run.
And a good shot, straight back past the bowler, along the carpet. If he gets anything loose or a bit of width, I can see that he will take it on.
Yeah, you could see him kind of moving over like he's expecting that wide Yorker kind of death bowling delivery, try to get himself over there. That one's shorter, catches it off the hosel. They look for 2, but it's just the 1.
Well, it's only a 1 because the fielder in the circle managed to get a hand to slow it down because that was hit with some pace. 171 for 5. Well, 180 plus will be a good total to defend, and we'll see how South Leinster get on later on. Oh!
What a play. Johnson steps over, hits it straight back at Shirzad, who pops it up like a volleyball setter straight up in the air, then is able to find where it is, dive for it, and collect the ball inches from the ground.
He did so well there, Shazad. It was played back at him. You'll see it here. Full toss, half hit, not off the middle of the bat. It burst through the hands, but went upwards. And then he did so well, as you say, Charlie. Part of the trouble there is once it's hit your hands, it's the looking for it up in the... By the time you find it, sometimes it's already hit the ground. But on this occasion, he saw it very early on. He keeps his eyes on it, turns around and makes the good dive to pick it about a foot off the turf.
Oh, that's bump, set, and spike for Shirzad. He's got a second sport of volleyball if he ever needs one.
And
It's a great play. Second chance play. Fantastic work. Off his own bowling. He earned that one. That'll bring in the new batter, Karp. So wickets falling here.
well, North Leinster will feel that they're in amongst the bowlers now. And they'll be hoping to restrict South Leinster. Oh, the bowler immediately turns around and apologises to the umpire. Well, I feel it should be the batsman he's apologising to. Full toss. It was signalled as a no ball.
Yeah, that was full toss right on the hip of De Beer.
That gives...
You get a free base for that in baseball.
Well, you get a free hit for it here in cricket. And you can be assured that De Beer is going to try and make the most of this opportunity.
Yep. De Beer turns the dial up to 11 and waits. And he gives it a ride that's over the bowler's head. Oh, and it's dropped, but it wouldn't have been out anyway because it was a free hit.
And I think the fielder was aware of that. It's a casual step up. I still would have liked to seen him take it.
Yeah.
But on this occasion, the no ball not really costing North Leinster too much.
Karp pokes that one down to Gully. Quick scamper through for a single. Yeah, maybe if you think Karp's job here is to just keep De Beer on strike, who's been in for a little bit longer, but
This is one that really he's going to look back on and probably clip off the YouTube channel, the Cricket Leinster YouTube channel that you're following us on this evening. Many thanks to Cricket Leinster for streaming this game. And we hope that those of you out there watching are enjoying the coverage. And like and subscribe the Cricket Leinster YouTube channel. They'll have cup finals galore coming up.
yeah, it was a lovely play by Yassine Shirzad and a great bit of individual athletic effort to pop that one back up to himself so he could grab it.
Play of the day so far, I would say.
I would say. That'll bring on Karp, who's going to face McNally, who's starting his final over. Full toss knocked down by Karp to the leg side. Quick scamper for one. They think about two, but decide against it.
Good work by the fielder out on the deep, Kartik. Kartik covered a lot of ground and got the ball into his hand, and that deterred the batsman from taking a second.
McNally moves some players around as De Beer waits. That one's off the hip, and it's brought around the corner. A lovely shot by De Beer. He got all of that one and used the pace to pull it around the corner and get it over the fielder's head.
What's nice about that shot is he didn't rush at it and he didn't try and overhit it. He just let the timing do the work. It found the fence and got there without bouncing. So De Beer moves on to 13 from just 8, which is ideal. This is what you want from players with 2 overs to go.
Yeah, as gentle as 6 as you'll see,
Yeah,
you know, but
one with good distance as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
Not
lovely
easy.
technique to it. Yeah. De Beer now 13 off 8 with one swing of the bat. awaits McNally's third delivery. That's a
Another-
full toss. That's popped in the air. Fielder is under it. And he makes the catch on the boundary. So after 1-6, De Beer tries to send it again. Oh, no. Was that called a no ball? Yeah.
Well,
It seemed close to me, but called a no ball. So,
no, it's not.
nope.
He's on his way.
Oh, he is. Oh, never mind. I was looking at the wrong batter.
That's the 6 from De Beer, and he got that one beautifully. And then the next delivery, McNally trying to go a bit fuller, looking for the Yorker. You can see he's trying to put it right down there, but instead he could only push it round the corner to where the fielder was. No call of no ball from the umpires.
I thought I heard one.
Yeah,
No,
that's.
I think
So I don't have to catch.
I think that was the batsman asking.
Probably.
The batsman asking if it was a no ball. And Peter Forkin comes to the middle now. Another wicket falls. 7 down now, 182 on the board. And that target, as I said, they were going to be looking for 180 plus. And they've reached that with an over to spare with 9 balls to spare. So how much further can they take it? Can they get it to 200, do you think, Charlie?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's all gravy at this point, I think.
I think so. They'll be happy with
I
180.
mean, they
to
would have
defend.
wanted more gravy based on how they started. But Forkin dribbles that one away for 1 run.
Nice bit of experience there with Peter Forkin. Another guy who plays first team cricket, as so many of these young players do.
Yep, Forkin and Carp having a bit of a chat, saying, "No, will you hit? No, you hit. No, it'll be all right."
8 deliveries remaining. Carpe, 8 off just 4.
It's down leg side and short, but called a wide.
Well, he won't be too upset at that, although he'll feel that maybe he could have got something on that. But of course, he's now looking to hit down the ground. The subtle shot to third man, just as valuable. As they say, if you're going to flash hard.
Another wide called.
John McNally struggling a little bit with control, but it's understandable as well. You've 2 balls left in the over, and all you want to do is come out of it with 2 dots. And so you're trying to cramp the batsman, not give him any room. But on these occasions, it's just sliding past, and in fact, giving them extra runs in the form of wides.
Drop down to third for a scamper through for a quick run. Craig, I'm going to need your help on this one. Looks like there were some penalty runs awarded here. I see 6p.
Have to check that one out.
Yeah.
The scorers later.
The score's now 192 for 7, with 1 ball remaining in the 19th. So blocked away for no run. That'll bring the over to a close. So at the end of 19, South Leinster 192 for 7. Yeah, we were inquiring about that.
Slow overrate, I presume.
Niall suggesting that penalty runs
Oh,
are as a result of a slow over rate. It's the 19th over when the umpires will make such decisions about where the over rate is and how it's gone. What time are we at now? 6:30. So it's taken them an hour and a half. So that could be where those 6 penalty runs came in, because I saw no incident on the field of play.
nor I. Yeah, that's why I asked.
Say,
So this will bring the final over. McGrain is back. Had a tough opening. We'll see how he finishes. He's facing Carp. Big appeal, but none given.
do you notice the bowler himself did not appeal? He knew that that was going down leg. Wicketkeeper half-heartedly.
Yeah, it was a dull thud that you could hear from everywhere, but the people with the best view of it knew all along, including our friends in blue.
Well, 193. The question now is, can they get to 200?
Yeah, I think if you're South Leinster, that
Just like
psychological number,
Absolutely.
as we say.
So much of the game played in those top 2 inches.
Dug out my McGrain, straight back up the ground. They look for 2, they think about it, but then think better of it. It's just the 1.
Falcon picking up another run. And again, quite sensibly, he's just not allowing dot balls, and that's what you want at this stage of the season. Yes, ideally you want to find boundaries, but you certainly don't want to be giving the fielding side dot balls at this stage. You should be looking to score from every single delivery, even one that you blocked your feet. Nicely bowled from McGrain. Slight change of pace, got it underneath the bat of Carpe.
Yeah, change up fools Carpe. He's not able to get all of it, or any of it really. 3 deliveries remaining, 6 runs for South Leinster to get to that magical boundary of 200. Big swing, that's in the air, fielder there, and it's taken. So McGrain pops up Carp, but the fielder, Mohammed Shahzad, was in the right place at the right time. Hands up, takes a good catch, and maybe wagging his finger, maybe a little harder than he expected.
I suggest that maybe it's a little bit chilly out there and fingers getting cold, but he got into a good position to start with. Nice, steady, kept adjusting, and then took it above the eye line, two-handed, and that means there's 8 wickets down, 194 on the board, and Ford comes to the middle, and he really has the job now. Just 2 balls remaining.
Yeah, give it a ride.
And we'll wait and see how this goes. As I say, during the break, we'll be giving Charlie a 5-minute break, and we'll get Stephen Tonge into the box, and we'll find out his thoughts on that first innings. No 2 there, just a 1, 195.
So it'll be Forkin, who's seen 3 deliveries, who gets the honor of taking the last one.
Well, the start was a faster pace than the finish. That's how I describe this South Leinster innings. Well,
that's in the air. Fielder running over. He's not able to get there. 1 bounce, and that's gone for 4. So they're not able to touch the magic number of 200. Sorry, no, was it caught? Was it caught?
It was caught.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh, I completely missed it.
The number 8 was coming around behind Niall.
Oh, he was behind Niall. I saw it. I thought it went.
He got himself set, as you'll see here on the replay.
Never mind.
It was the right shot from the batsman. You saw this fielder going across, not getting to it, but there's one there safely taking the catch, and that is the final wicket to fall with the score on 194.
Just when I try to train myself to watch the action and not the screen, it was in the one place I couldn't see. Well, that's the end of 20 overs. South Leinster have put on a score of 195. After a blistering start, they got extinguished after the power play and never were we able to build anything too threatening after that.
Well, if you look after the batting here, Charlie.
Yeah, so you see the hot start from Tonge and Whaley, who together put on
92.
102. 55 plus 47?
But one of them was out when the score was on 92, and the other one went on to score some more runs.
Oh, yeah, good point.
So,
well, anyway.
An opening stand of 92 between Whaley and Tonge.
And then Horgan came in and contributed 41, most of which were off of the kind of tail end of his deliveries. And then a couple of starts there from O'Brien and De Beer, but none of the big numbers that we saw up top. All put together a fantastic total of 195, but if you looked at just the power play, you would have thought it'd be a lot more.
Well, 19 extras as well, a figure that I look at quite keenly at Sydney Parade. And there we are, just the 7 bowlers used, 3 Shahzads, but it was Brandon Morris, I felt, that made the change in this innings when he came on with his off-spin. 3 wickets for Yassine Shazad, 3 for 48, and 2 for Killian McGrain, including that final wicket off the final ball. Wickets also for McNally, the other Sharad, and Morris again, 1 for 31. And I keep harping back to it, but that total of 19 extras off 20 overs, far more acceptable than some of those that we see. We'll have a quick look at the worm, if only to see just how that start was. And it really did get off to a flying start until that first dot, and then you could see it started slowing down a little bit until the 16th over, but then again 2 wickets slowed things down again. Cluster of wickets at the end, but all in all I think we'll find that South Leinster will be maybe slightly happier of the 2 teams. Score on the door, 194 for 8 in 20 overs, and at this stage Charlie's just going to step out of the box for us as Niall shows us some replays, and we'll invite in now Stephen Tonge. So it's my absolute pleasure now to invite a former teammate and a former Cricket Leinster official, Stephen Tonge. You used to head up the schoolboy side, didn't you?
I did now head up the youth.
Well, there you go. Promotion for you. So, from a South Leinster point of view, your son's obviously opened the batting there and had a very good half-century. But do you think South Leinster will be the happier of the 2 teams?
I don't think so.
You think they could have and should have got more?
It's probably about 210.
210. So you're saying they're about 15, a run and over short in effect. A run rate of 9.75. You're a hard man to please, I can tell you.
Well, after that start and knowing the batting that was coming behind, it just really only Luke really got going.
Yeah, I mean, once again, it was the openers that got them off to that flying start, Bruce Whaley and Mark Tonge. They put on 92 for that opening, but North Leinster did well to pull it back as well.
They did. They fielded well, and you could get disheartened after that sort of start, and they clawed it back, and fair play to them.
They kept at it, as they say, kept at it. And your own role, you're head of youth cricket now for Cricket Leinster. That must take up a fair amount of time.
It takes up a bit of time, yeah. Shirley Doyle is the administrator, and she's brilliant. She really is, and it's a pleasure working with her. And I think we've got a very good committee this year. Michael Hingston on it, and Emer Richardson, and Andrew from Pembroke, and
Andy Hill.
Yeah. I think it's good, and there's a good buzz, but it's early doors in the season, so.
Wait and see, says you. Wait and see. Judged on results, is it?
No. Participation.
From that point of view, I can certainly report that Pembroke are getting good numbers down on a Sunday morning, and of course, it's the youth that are the future of all the clubs in Leinster, and they have to be treated carefully and trained well, not only in the playing side of things, but I suppose one day they'll be looking to take over the administration. I remember when we were playing, there was very little administration involved at our level.
Yeah, what? What was that?
Well, we didn't do that. We turned up and played our cricket. But now, of course, with everything that's going on, and especially with youth cricket, I suppose you have your guard of vetting and everything else.
And the registrations, but I think that's a good thing. I think it's good because it's what is expected in all youth sports, and I think it's very important that cricket follows that. And I think it's nice to see some clubs, scoring games, live scoring.
Well, the growth of live scoring. I think as more clubs realise how much easier it is, A, to score, and B, to submit your results. Do you remember having to fill out the old postcards for Michael Sharp?
Yeah.
That was our day. Now it's become sort of filling in forms online, or if you live score, you just submit the game, and technology does the rest.
Who are you telling? I used to put in the scorecards for most of the Leinster teams. So I don't. But I think even if you just look at it from a youth perspective, it means that parents can follow their children online. If they're not there, it means that other people, grandparents, other people who know them, you can have conversations, and it raises the awareness of the game. So in that sense, it's very positive.
And of course, this tournament, this comes under the youth umbrella.
And no, this is Cricket Leinster tournament. Not
Okay.
It's not. Yeah.
But great to see, and fair play to Jer Siggins, his name all over this one. The under-23 Jer Siggins District Cup. The umpires are heading back to the middle now, so we're obviously going to get quite a quick start to the second innings. Stephen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you, Craig. Enjoyed that. Look after yourself.
And we'll see what sort of reaction your interview gets now from the Sandyford Old Boys. 195 for 9 then South Leinster have accomplished, and they will be sending North Leinster in to try and find 196 runs in the next 20 overs. Just judging from the cameraman here, we might have to look at DL, but that will be on the scoreboard, and we'll keep an eye on that during the second innings. The umpires are in the middle now, and the South Leinster fielders are going to clear the field, and they'll be ready to come back on in just a minute. Well, many thanks to you who have stayed with us through that break. We hope you enjoyed that short interview with Stephen Tonge, Head of Youth Cricket for Cricket Leinster. And now we will see the North Leinster response. They'll be looking for 196 from 20 overs at just a tad over 9 3/4 an over. It's going to be a tough chase for them. And they'll have to go for it very early on. The Sydney Parade, as I say, becoming quite the place to collect runs. And the first ball gets us underway. Leg by to get started. The bowler asking the question, and the wicketkeeper trying a little circus trick to knock the bails down. We've seen Lynch many times on this ground. It could be the first drops of rain that we see. As the bowler coming round the wicket. Oh, super delivery. Almost cut the batsman in half, and it goes for 4 byes. 4 leg byes. Just taking an edge. Just off the trouser flap of the batsman, and that was enough to get it past the fielder. Tom Ford, a bowler from the St John's End. And this time Ford sliding down the leg side. Left-hand, right-hand combination. And it's time to welcome back to the box Charlie.
Bit of drizzle out there, Greg.
Yeah, Niall is sort of on the edge of whether to keep the camera under the gazebo or out to fresh air.
As soon as I did, it nearly stopped.
Oh, they're coming through for one there, and the football skills not quite enough to affect a run out, and another leg by. Well, they have shown an eagerness to get after this now, with running very quickly and running as many extras as they can. There's the little side foot pass. Ineffective on this occasion. Lynch, somebody who has donned the blue of the Leinster Lightning previously. Oh, that's a nice shot. It was almost a tennis shot, Charlie. It was a bouncer. He got up to it, stood up tall and played it away.
Yeah, he went up for it about temple height and was able to get a little bat under it and send it on its way. Nice shot. That kind of instinctual reaction to adjust to that wider ball and shorter, higher ball and be able to get the bat adjusted. It's good skill on display there.
Well, airing outside, a number of extras accruing in this over. 2 wides and 2 leg bys and 2 boundaries. It's all about 2s at the moment, but 11 without loss.
Ford getting a lot of that inside-out movement. That's just taking it a little bit too far wide for him at the moment. That one's driven to the offside quick throw. Direct hit may have been in with a chance. Umpire in the perfect position to make the call had it been necessary, but it wasn't on this occasion.
Well, the batsman himself on strike made sure that he got down the other end. His partner wasn't quite as quick getting off the mark, but was running to the safe end. Ford now with the left-hander in front of him. Oh, and that has bobbled in front of the fielder. He'll be exceptionally disappointed with that, but so will his teammates. Boundary off the last ball of the first over makes it a very good over for North Leinster. You can just see it just bobbles there. It's undulating ground round there by Michael Sharp corner at the end of Cyril's Way.
It may have gotten a little bit of the bonus from hitting the AstroTurf artificial wicket on its way there as well. But yeah, long barrier wasn't enough to stop it this time. Good first over for North Leinster, 17 runs off it, and that's the kind of over that they're going to need if they're going to chase down this total of 195. Now, we know South Leinster got off to a hot start against pace bowling. We'll see if similar patterns play out here.
I don't see why they wouldn't. We saw it previously here at Sydney Parade.
And I wonder if South Leinster may have learned a lesson from the first innings there, if we might be seeing spin early.
With just 2 men outside the circle, it certainly encourages the batsmen to go for their shots. And that's the danger for the batsman, is you might just give an opportunity. But if you can clear the ring, there's a good chance that you're going to get runs, and a few of them. Well,
so Johnson is here bowling from the nursery end, adjusting his field. Wicketkeeper Whaley standing up. So we'll see the introduction of some spin early, which we didn't see until the 7th over of the South Leinster innings. So let's see if a bit of a lesson learned from the first innings here as Lynch stands in and waits. Good delivery, cramps Lynch, dots it away for none.
And again here, the bowler giving no pace, no momentum to the ball. And as a result, the batsman, if he's looking for the fence, is going to have to put all the power into it himself. And that's what he tries to do there, and successfully does so.
Yeah, but that was a less lofted delivery there from Johnson. I think he tried to dart one in, and Lynch just pounced on it.
You can see it was a little bit wide, and that let Lynch free his arms, and he's too good a player not to make the most of that, especially with nobody outside the ring. So getting enough elevation on it to keep it away from ravenous fielders. Much better delivery on this occasion by Johnson.
Gets past the diving inner ring. Fielder in the deep holds it up for just one. Yeah, that third delivery was a better one from Johnson. That second one was a little flatter and out wide and allowed Lynch to kind of get over and extend his arms. That'll bring Devane, who is adjusting the sight screen, I think.
Sight screen at the far end. We don't mind that too much. Camera at that end, not on the sight screen. So
It was also buried in the bush today, so good luck to them getting the side screen back to it.
Niall has done some fabulous work here today. Full camera setup.
As always.
This one on a full toss, and again, he's not going to miss out on those. Devane on this occasion will say thank you very much. Wide and a full toss, and you can see the disappointment of the bowler straight away. Didn't even really start looking to see where it had gone. He knew it was gone a long way. Just pop down there. Well, in the live action,
Yeah,
just a dot ball getting through to the keeper.
better delivery there from Johnson.
And that's nicely driven, but also nicely fielded.
Yeah, there's some lovely, lovely dives in the field that are aided by that slight bit of rain on the water. People are slip sliding away.
Just a sheen on some of the outfield, and it lets you get that slide in.
A bit of a glisten. Yeah, so very kind of mixed over there for Johnson. 4 solid deliveries, but he gave up a 6 and a 4. Gives up 12 from that over. So after 2, 29 for the loss of none, and North Leinster are off to the start that they need.
Well, certainly doesn't help. The numbers on the players has been a big assistance to us today. We might not be overly familiar with a lot of these players. We'd see them playing for their club sides, etc., but to see them all here playing together, it can be a bit tricky for identification. But I've just noticed the bowler's taken off his jumper, which had 1 number on it, and it has a different number on his shirt. So be aware of that one. So Devane, 13 from just 6 deliveries. These two off to a flyer.
Bowling change here. Tonge will start the third from the St. John's Road end. Zippy ball that's cut away. Fielder in the deep for 1 run.
Yeah, it was good to talk to Stephen at the break. Just hear his views on things. And as he says, he has a very good committee, including Pembroke's own Andy Hill. And they do a lot of work with the youth side of things. And of course, youth goes from, under 9 all the way up to under 18s. Under 23 comes under Cricket Leinster, not the youth. And that one, whoa.
Hot shot from Lynch that hits the mid-on fielder, knocks him back a little bit, but he does the job. He blocks it for no run.
It was one of those ones you could see it was going to bounce just in front of the fielder, and he wasn't going to catch it cleanly. It was a matter of just making sure you had something behind it.
Hands down, protect the face. Job done. Here comes Tonge's third.
Oh, he's got away with that. It will go to the boundary, but that wasn't a shot he was in control of at any stage. But Lynch won't mind. It brings him another 4 runs. But you see here, that's nowhere near where he was aiming or looking for.
That's the edge of the edge of the edge. That's the corner of the corner. He just catches it, and it goes in the books as 4.
Well, short third man. Once he got past him, there was going to be nothing stopping it running down to the nursery end as an evening dart slides past.
Better ball from Tonge. Clip to the onside for no run.
Well, he scored
55.
55 off just 24 deliveries earlier on. And he was a big part of the reason why South Leinster managed to put up such an impressive total.
That's hit the air. There's no fielder there. 1 bounce and then gone for 4. That was very close to a 6, just about a half a meter. He waits and pivots and send it on his way. It was a bit short, and batter was able to.
It was mere millimeters inside the rope, wasn't it?
It was a very long 4, as long as they get. But Lynch waited for it and pivoted.
Sometimes you hear the phrase, 1 bounce 4. Well, that was unfortunately, one almost might say that was a 1 bounce 6. It was that close to being the maximum. 38 without loss then as we come to the end of the 3rd over.
It's another hard hit ball. That's a much cleaner 6. Sends the net bowlers running. And that was a 6 by a good 15 meters at least. So Lynch ends the over in style. And Tonge gives up 15 off his first. That one's right, just kind of thigh high.
That was
with plenty of room to. Oh, that was the first one.
That was the 4. This one here now, you'll see a far straighter bat as he plays it down there, and you hear the cry, and suddenly there'll be a lot of people saying, "Oh, where is that? That poor bowler was just starting his run up and had to abort that delivery in the nets."
So after 3 overs, 44 for the cost of none. North Leinster continue building over by over here in this power play. They're above the pace of what they need.
And they're above the pace that South Leinster started with.
Yeah, very impressive.
The bowler now deciding to come round the wicket to the left-hander.
That's right, it's tea. I have no ticket.
Oh, okay,
I did text you, but
thank you.
I'm trying to sorry I missed you. What do you think?
Oh, thank you for offering. It's okay.
Do you want a cup of tea?
No, thank you.
The new bowler is Karp
Um,
from the nursery end. He's bowling to Devane. First one spins past Devane into the wicketkeeper's hands.
You don't see this too often now, but first 4 overs, we've seen 4 different bowlers. So South Leinster really shaking it up here.
the noise of the ball coming off the bat is down to the brand of ball. It's a turf ball that they're using. And Dad has said they make a noise or sound
Oh, nice.
off the bat. It's more of a crack.
A pretty sounding ball. I like that.
So there you go. So it's down to the ball rather
Okay. I like it. No, it's good.
than that.
So Lynch has moved on to 26, and he's done so exceptionally quickly. Just 11 balls faced. And a big part of the reason why North Leinster now find themselves 46 without loss off just 19 deliveries.
Yeah, Lynch and Devane are starting very much like Tonge and Whaley did. Takes a step back, slices it away to cover, and it's stopped for no run.
But I like this move by South Leinster, changing it up, showing us something different.
Do you think it's a strategy, or do you think it's
Spinners
kind of
don't
a
play them.
representative game you want everybody to be seen?
Well, I think this one is in the air. Oh, he's taken that to the face. It's gone for 4. I think that came out of his hands.
Yeah, there was a bit of injury to the insult there. It came out of his hands, popped back up, hit him in the face, and then went over the boundary. See
The bowler
reaction from
slightly
the bowler.
disappointed, but they're creating opportunities. That was a short ball, It wasn't there by design, that's for sure, and it brought forth an opportunity. And you see here, headed over the boundary in the end.
Back to live action. That's scooped away for 4. Another long 4, or maybe
6.
6, yeah. So, yeah, just over the rope. But Lynch stamping his authority so far
50
on
up.
these second innings. 50 is up for North Leinster in just 22 deliveries.
Stand and deliver, and that he does. Another boundary, and suddenly Carpe. Well, it often happens when you see a catch put down that very shortly afterwards boundaries flow.
And the sun has returned here at Sydney Parade.
Briefly.
Bit of drizzle is gone for the moment. There's another look at that shot. And another that's hit deep to Cow. And it evades the 2 fielders. It bisects them perfectly, and that's gone. Another boundary for Lynch, who now moves to 44 off just 16 deliveries. At the end of 4 overs, North Leinster 64 for none.
And they've seen 4 different bowlers so far. It'll be interesting to see how South Leinster approach this now. I mean, they're going along at 16 and over. That is some going. 4 4s every over is the equivalent.
Well, here comes back Ford. So Ford bowled the first. So maybe they're just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, we'll see. But the rotation goes around through 4 different bowlers. And now here's Ford with the number 12 on his back, bowling from the St. John's Road end. Ford is rocking a mustache and a little bit of that young cricketer semi-mullet, like that look. Here he steams in. That's dug out to the offside. Deep fielder will take it. Just the 1.
Deep fielder was nearly in as much trouble with the seagull as he was with the delivery. That seagull just flying around the back of him, just over his head.
I think that's going to be that's a camera opportunity there, Niall. We don't need a drone. We have the seagulls. We just got to wire them up. Can we do that?
If you catch one. So Ford in now. Good bit of pace just coming off the batsman.
Yeah, that short ball just got caught up in Lynch's elbows. Oh, not Lynch's, Devane's elbows. Oh, yeah, hit the hip and then off the hip there. That's why they wear the pads.
We need the pads, that's for sure. This is the 5th over, and this run chase going very well. Just 130 required now. A couple of questions asked of the umpire. He ignores all of them.
Calls leg by.
It was a late decision by the bowler to have an appeal. So he looked at it himself and then decided, oh, maybe it was close enough. But the umpire said, no, it wasn't. Lynch on to 44 now. It hasn't taken him long to get there. And the willingness to run that first one and run it quickly gets him down to the far end. And 45 now for him. Devane is only striking at 160.
Nah. Well, I mean, come on, step it up. Yeah, even a excellent strike rate of 160 is being outshone by Lynch at the moment, who's like somewhere in the 250 range.
A good delivery, turned on very nicely.
Lovely bit of fielding in the deep to just hold it to 1. He kind of helicoptered, we kind of windmilled that one.
Yeah, it was a lot of power going into it. North Leinster, well, they'll be delighted with this opening partnership, just as delighted as South Leinster were with their openers. These four batsmen causing the selectors a bit of difficulty, one feels. Oh, another one gets past the fielder. It got to his hands and then skipped away and goes to the boundary, and Lynch now moves on to 49.
Great shot, clipped off the pads. Fielder was in the right place for it, just couldn't execute that bit at the end.
Again, it's the undulations in that corner. People don't realise just how much the ground rises and falls in that area. I remember a great flood a number of years ago where that corner became a little bit of a swimming bath for one Jack Balbirnie. But
5 overs in the books, 73 for naught for North Leinster. Now, the question is, when will the breakthrough come? In the first innings, it was in the 8th over. So let's see.
Well, this partnership now is up to, as you say, 73. For South Leinster, the opening partnership was worth 92. And well, as you say, they're off to an absolute flyer of a start. Tonge it is then who will bowl the 6th over and the final one of the power play. And then South Leinster will also be able to spread the field a bit more. Well, Digger's doing great work out there.
This whole setting is a children's book. There's a construction site, there's trains, there's cricket. Everything's going on at once.
Often the way here. So many hours of each week, this place is empty, and then all of a sudden you've got everything going on. Tonge then from the nursery end.
And there's the breakthrough. Lynch smacks it to mid-on, but that hot shot is well handled by the fielder, who hangs on to it above his head, and Lynch departs on 49 runs off 19 deliveries. So we asked when the breakthrough might come, and here we saw it. Yeah, there's the previous, this was in the previous delivery.
Well, that was the one that just skipped past the fielder, and this one here now. Keep an eye on the fielder to the left of your screen. He's going to be busy in just a second. Tried to lift it over that fielder, but couldn't get the elevation he required. The catch is taken, 74 for 1, and Lynch back in the pavilion.
Similar pattern playing out as we saw in the first innings, although the first partnership for South Leinster went for 92. This one goes for 74. But this partnership kind of got there. The rate was a little bit faster here. But that's what I'm saying. Now that we've seen the breakthrough, now let's see what the response is.
Well, that's it, isn't it? I mean, so often we see a great opening partnership and then 2 or 3 wickets just falling by the wayside.
Yeah.
So whether it's the batsmen of such impatience sitting on the sideline, they can't wait to get in.
New batter is Shirzad, Muzamil Shirzad, number 2. Catches some pad and they scurry through for 1 run. That'll bring Devane back on strike.
Well, nothing wrong with the run rate at the moment. They've even managed to bring down the required rate from over 9s, 9.5, down to under 8.5.
Yeah, I think that'll be the big difference maker here.
Another one, this time, does clear the fielder in the ring, and that will race down to the boundary. Nobody will stop that. And it makes it down to the covers at extra cover.
Yeah, I think that bringing down the required run rate early sets you up in a position where in the back half of the innings, you're just under that bit less pressure.
Especially with youth players, not so much the under-23s, but scoreboard pressure is a real thing. And we've seen it time and time again over the years. Oh, that was very good attempt. But it gets past the fielder, the diving fielder, and it races away for 4 runs.
Yeah, it was a short ball from Tange, and then Devane jumped up onto his tiptoes, kind of like MJ moonwalking style, was able to get a little bit of edge on it, and then send it to third. And then the diving fielder made an attempt and wasn't able to get there, so...
A few spectators have come in now at the close of work for the day.
Yeah, we had an early start.
5 o'clock start tonight. I think they were giving themselves the maximum opportunity if there was rain, that they'd still get 40 overs in this evening.
That'll bring the power play to a close, 84 runs from it at the cost of 1 wicket. So let's compare that to the South Leinster power play, which was how many runs?
78.
78 runs. And then the breakthrough happened in the 8th over. So we had more runs, but an earlier loss of a wicket for North Leinster.
Yeah, slightly ahead of where South Leinster were. But again, it was that power play that really set up that total of 190 odd. And the middle overs sort of drifted a little. I say drifted, they were probably scoring at 7 or 8 and over. But it didn't have the same ferocity as the opening 6-7 overs. As you say, once that wicket fell, it did make a difference to the scoring rate. Change of bowling now at the St John's end, and it will be S. O'Brien.
We don't have the South Leinster team sheet, unfortunately. We're imagining there are multiple O'Briens. Sean O'Brien.
This is Sean O'Brien. We saw Robert O'Brien earlier on with the bat.
I think that's him, number 3 right there in mid-on.
Wearing his railway cap.
Yeah.
Sensible to be wearing a cap, though. We've seen the sun, as it drops down, become more and more of an issue for players on the clubhouse side of the wicket.
Well kept in by the fielder in the ring, in the deep, for just 1 run. Yeah, Devane, the lefty, cut that one away. He's got that shorter boundary to work with over there for that shot. Anything that's out wide, he'll be at an advantage. That'll bring on Shirzad.
Well, 1-1-1 is what's required. 83 balls to get those runs at 8, just over
Sounds
8
reasonable.
and over. So again, they have done a good job. Bat and pad brings forth no appeal from anybody on the ground.
Yeah, sharp delivery from O'Brien there.
And this is, I often speak about how cricket is quite secular. When I first joined Pembroke, the Northwest were the strong province, and then North became the strong province, and finally Leinster. And we've seen various club dynasties over the years. And Pembroke, obviously, in a golden age at the moment. But I can see Railway over the next couple of years with the O'Briens and with Whaley. They're starting to put together a side that is going to challenge for honours over the next few years. Great to see.
Good over so far for Sean O'Brien. 1.1 steams in for his 4th. Swing and a miss. Whaley chases after it, but they don't take the extra run. It's called a wide.
You'd almost think Bruce Whaley was hoping they were going to take a run there.
If you run on a wide, you're running at your own risk, right?
Absolutely. Same with the no ball.
Right.
If you get bowled by a no ball, you're safe enough. But if you get run out, that's your danger. That's a cracking shot. Well, that was absolutely fabulous. Out through extra cover. It had no intention of visiting the grass at all on its way. Cleared the fence and ended up under the benches on Cyril's way. And that was a cracking shot.
Indeed it was. It all happened so quickly. Just like this run chase, my goodness. North Leinster on a tear. Devane takes a Off stump guard drives it straight down the ground, safely in the hands of the fielder for 1 run. Don't see that a lot, an off stump guard.
No, you tend to find players who do that.
They like hitting off their legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And,
I don't.
and are very confident of doing so, tucking it round the corner,
Yeah.
etc. I always
Catches
felt
an
I'd
edge.
be exposing a stump somewhere, my leg stump round behind my legs. And again, my leg shots not strong enough for that sort of guard. Middle and leg, the 2 traditional guards of the club cricketer.
7 overs in the books. North Leinster marching 94 for the cost of 1 wicket. Devane has picked up where his colleague departed for 49. I'm forgetting that.
Seamus Lynch.
Lynch, thank you. Where Lynch departed for 49. And now Devane has become the power player in this partnership.
Charlie, if you remind me at the end of this over, we will show the viewing public the worm, just for a comparison.
A comparison worm. Do like that. Only thing better than 1 worm is 2. This will be the return of Carp for his 2nd over.
Again on at the nursery end.
Had a tough first over. He gave up 20 runs. Let's see how he responds.
And again, you can have an over like that isn't ideal. You can see 20, but...
Well, I like to see how players respond.
Absolutely.
To adversity.
And as a captain, you'd often have a situation...
Big appeal,
That
down
is
on
good.
1 knee, and he's given. Carp does respond after that tough first over. He went down to 1 knee, facing the umpire plaintively, arms in the air. Umpire thought about it for a long time, and the finger went up. It was an attempted sweep that didn't work.
Yeah, it was an earnest appeal. When he went down to 1 knee and held the pose appealing, you had a feeling he felt it was very tight. There we go. 2, 3, still asking, and finally gets the reply he wants. And a 2nd wicket falls. 94 on the board. And Carpe making the breakthrough. As you say, it's always worth... I never like to see a bowler taken off after 1 over. Because that's not representative.
No.
Batsman's maybe got hold of him or whatever the reason may be. But that's the perfect response.
Yeah, great response there. Like to see umpire taking his time, going through his green light checklist.
So Doyle now comes to the middle.
Who's going to come out and join Devane?
This is the captain, Adam Doyle. Future Irish captain, just walking past the ground mics.
Doyle digs in and waits for Carp. That's past the edge of the bat for no run.
It can't have been too far away. You look at the reaction of the bowler there, and he really thought that was very close to the edge. And it wasn't too far away, was it? Whaley with a nice take behind the sticks. Nobody appealing for one that's going down the leg side. But again, wicket ... and suddenly it just starts.
I think if you're Carp, you just attack this new batter. You just take it to him.
Yeah.
No quarter here. Another good delivery. It's at the stumps, but Doyle gets some bat onto it. They're going to come back for the 2nd, but unfortunately the relay throw is bobbled by the bowler, so there's no attempt to take the runner.
Well, he did try to take the bails, but
without a ball in your hand, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but the throw was right down at his ankles.
Oh, no, he did have the ball. My mistake. He did.
It was good work from the bowler, collecting that one, as I say, down at his ankles. Many wicket keepers in the province saying, yeah, Down at the ankles, well done. Well, it's a lovely night again. Sun back again, shadows lengthening.
Lovely on drive from Doyle there to rotate the strike and bring back Devane for the final delivery of this over.
Runs required now, down below 100.
Devane lefty is hungrily eyeing up that shorter boundary towards the pavilion. See if he can get something to work with here from Carp, who would love another wicket here at the end of the 8th. Or the 7th, excuse me.
Well, that's very sensible. Just played down the ground. 99 for 2 off 8 overs.
So
And
8 overs gone. North Leinster knocking on the door of 100. When did South Leinster get their 100?
the next over.
Okay.
So,
You wanted to look at the worm. I reminded myself to remind you.
we'll
Let's
have
take a look.
take a look at that now.
Here we go. They're pretty close. I mean, we talked about how that North Leinster rate was a little bit faster than South Leinster, but my goodness,
It's nip and tuck at
they're
the
very
moment,
close.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's building up into
You know what I
could
do
be a
like?
classic finish.
I like an intertwining worm. You know, where it goes above and below and above.
up and down, up and
Yeah,
down.
like a weaving. Here comes O'Brien.
Well, it had
Close
the
to
width
the
that
edge.
Japan was looking for,
Yeah.
but it had too much width. He couldn't reach it, and it gets through to the keeper.
So some golden sunlight streaking through some gray cloud with some blue sky beyond. That's about as an Irish sky as you could paint. As O'Brien continues here.
Nicely clipped around the corner behind square. There is a fielder there. He'll prevent a second. But it was a nice shot.
Yeah, nice shot. I mean, put the knees together and kind of paddled it around the corner. Some good fielding in the deep. Good throw while on the run as well.
And that is 100 up for North Leinster in their pursuit of 193 to win. No, 195 to win, rather. My apologies.
A 195 tie, 196 to win.
Yes. And don't forget, there were 6 penalty runs as well for a slow over
for a
rate.
slow over rate.
How vital will that be come the end of the game?
You got to wonder. We can only hope. O'Brien continues. That's swung on and driven to the offside.
And of course, in this J. Siggins U23 District Cup, if the scores are tied at the end of 20 overs, Niall,
Oh boy.
would there be a super over?
Super over.
Or is it just points shared?
Should they? Yes. Will they? Bet you don't.
Well, they started at 5. They've got plenty of time for one. That's a nice shot. That's the sort of shot you see in a 50 over game.
That's as beautiful a cover drive as you're going to see in any game. Step, bang, right along the carpet. Fielder not able to get to it. Lovely shot.
Absolutely cracking shot, that one. The left-hander, he's feeling good.
So this is O'Brien's 5th or 6th delivery this over. Live scoring a little bit behind. I think this should be the final ball of the over, but I could be wrong. Either way, we continue. Call of wait, call of no. Hard hit ball went straight into the hands of the cover fielder. Or the point fielder.
Now, it's somewhat thrown me a little. The batsman's name has changed on live scoring to KSM. We saw KSM bowling earlier.
Hmm. Huh. Interesting. Maybe that's why the live scoring's been a bit behind. They're going for 2.
And they get there, and then the throw. Everyone's wide awake. Well done by Robert O'Brien in backing up, because behind him was only the rope. And that would have been a nightmare. But you see the ground he makes up.
Bruce Whaley went for the double play and got nobody. So that's the end of a very exciting ninth. As we wait for some adjustments in the live scoring to kind of help us get caught up, so we can get you caught up.
I think they're an over behind.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And they are now very rapidly catching up again.
I see it.
Score on your screen, changing with every delivery. And the scoreboard yet to catch up with live scoring. So, Carpe to continue.
Yeah, in book we trust. I'm sure that there's an accurate record somewhere. We'll just get caught up.
So 108 for 2 after 9.
Carpe's first delivery is he tried to sweep it, but caught a bit of leg, and they just take 1 run.
The umpire signals wide. Mustn't have caught leg at all. I think the number 10 on the back has somewhat confused the scorers.
The 10 is Devane.
Yep. Oh, that's a nice shot. It's up in the air. And it's a fine, fine catch out by the railway line. And that is another wicket to fall. Doyle on this occasion has gone. The score on 110. And that's the 3rd wicket in the 10th over. Carpe picks up his 2nd. And again, it just goes to show that spin to win.
It's a lovely catch. I think that was Seb Dykstra, number 2. Lovely catch, moving forward and then rolling as he caught it.
Foot not quite going across. He knows he's lifted it a bit
disappointment the
hard.
minute it hits the bat.
But it is a fine catch out there. And the batsman knows it, and he's on his way. Just that bit of width. Or if anything, it was just too wide for him. And that meant he wasn't fully in control of the shot, and it ended up in the air. And that is a super catch, a couple of inches above the turf.
Very hard catch, made look very easy out there.
So with the 3rd wicket down now, the score, well, again, live scoring yet to catch up. They've gone backwards again.
Scoreboard says 110. Well, it just shows how much we rely on live scoring and how we are grateful for all the scorers and umpires and volunteers and everybody out there who make this game possible.
Certainly make our job easier with live scoring.
New batter sends that one away to the offside, to the deep for 1.
Well, North Leinster still very much in this game now.
Yeah, again, we're seeing a similar slowing of the rate here after the power play ends.
Try to get everything onto that. Instead, just got a bit of pad. And round the corner for a leg bye. And the live scoring, as I say, just slightly behind at the moment. They're making adjustments there. In the meantime, we will watch the game in front of us. And again, reiterate, these young batsmen on both teams seem to prefer
Pace deliveries.
the pace of the opposition rather than the spinners.
This time going down to 1 knee doesn't quite work for the appeal. That was a flatter, kind of zippier delivery.
That's earlier on in the over. That's the catch out in the deep. That's just slapped away for a single. The one thing I can assure you of, this is not S. O'Brien bowling, but rather the live scoring doing its best to catch up. They seem to be stuck in that O'Brien over. That one, well, I think the best the bowler could have hoped for there would be a full IPL DLS, DRS, and umpire's call.
Yeah,
but
I would
umpire
say.
said not out, and so it would have remained not out. O'Brien then to bowl again from the St John's end, receiving a little advice from his teammates.
So after 9, scores 110 on the scoreboard here.
Yeah, I think even the scoreboard is a little behind now. But O'Brien now from the St John's end picks up a wicket with one that cuts back past a flailing bat. It was a poor shot, trying to just hoik it over to the leg side. He missed it, and it hit the top of middle, removed the bails, and didn't really disturb the stumps. A good ball from O'Brien, and it brings up a 4th wicket with the score on, I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, lovely delivery from O'Brien. It hits the turf and jags back in to take the top of middle. Big swing there from a batter who was kind of coming in and wanting to make a quick impact. Not the swing for that delivery.
No, and that is another wicket down. Live scoring has got out of the 9th over, is now into the 10th. They're still just about an over behind, but it is getting closer.
Yeah, meanwhile, we continue in the 11th with a wicket to start. And maybe this this little break and play for the new batter to come in will give everybody some time to catch up. But, you know, we talked about when the breakthrough would come. And then after the first breakthrough from the hot start from 2 very powerful batters, we're seeing more wickets falling.
Well, O'Brien doing very well there, getting that one to seam back from maybe 2 or 3 stumps outside off and heading middle and leg. And superb delivery. It sent another North Leinster under-23 player back to the pavilion. One thing about these representative games, of course, is now we play in pyjamas. All these guys are wearing the pads that they wear with their club. So you'll see blues and greens and reds.
Some reds. A North red, I can imagine what that might be. Catches an edge down to 3rd for 1. That'll bring McNally back. So I think the batters now, McNally is 12, who's the on strike now, and his partner is Kartik, wearing number 1. McNally taps his bat, stares at O'Brien, and waits.
Bowler coming round the wicket to the left-hander, try to angle the ball back into him.
Drop and run. No throw. The run is there.
So at the halfway mark, just looking at the live scoring, the halfway mark, 113 for 3, which means that
they're on track.
They were actually 10 runs ahead of where South Leinster were at the same time, but they have lost a couple of wickets. You can see that wicket, the first ball of the 11th over for O'Brien. We're nearly back live now. I think that's it now. O'Brien doing a good job of fielding, sends Kartik back.
Yeah, a couple storylines we're following. 2 hot starts from both the teams in the power play. When the breakthrough came, everything slowed down. We'll also be watching the penalty run storyline. There were some penalty runs added on at the end of the first innings. See if those enter into the factor. But plenty of time, although not as many wickets to work with for North Leinster.
hit down the ground, but a fine catch from Robert O'Brien. He kept his eye on it all the way, back paddling, and managed to get just a little jump needed, but he got there and he collected the ball, and that's a fine catch, and that's now 5 wickets down with 115 on the board. And do you get the feeling that this is starting to subside now for North Leinster?
Yeah, that's my concern, is I wonder if the wave may have crested too early. You can see that shot, got under it a little bit. O'Brien steps back, leaps up, and had it all the way. Never felt like he was in trouble. He just needed to make a little hop at the end. Good catch.
And what an over for O'Brien. Previously he'd gone for 18, and in this over he's taken 2 for 2. As Robert O'Brien makes that one look very easy.
Yeah, excellent over so far for Sean O'Brien. And still 1 ball left.
115 for 5, still 81 required. I mean, it's not outside of reach. I mean, it's very possible from here. One good partnership will get them right back in it. But South Leinster keep taking wickets, and that's the important thing here.
Good ball from O'Brien, blocked away. They take a quick run. The fielder doesn't handle it cleanly, but they don't take a second. Well backed up.
They thought of a second. They thought of a second, and that wasn't the way to go.
So that'll bring the 11th to a close. And we think our live scoring has caught up with us here. So after 11, North Leinster 115 for 5. 116 for 5, excuse me, because they took that final run. So,
well,
I think I give the advantage to South Leinster here.
Very much so. They're 5 wickets down at the same stage. South Leinster, when they were batting, well, they'd only just lost their second. And I think that's going to end up being the difference, is that North Leinster's resources have been depleted by some fine bowling and some good catches. And that really is the difference between the two sides at the moment.
So Karp back from the nursery end for his final over. His first delivery is blocked back for no run.
And it's not like North Leinster aren't going at a great rate. 10.5 and over is in excess of what they require. But that run rate required now is just starting to creep up a little bit. It was down as low as 8.0. And now it's starting to creep above 9.
Yeah, but how much of that rate was due to the explosive start? And then we see the slowdown.
Well,
I mean, it's what you expect in a 20-over game with a power play.
only 2 fielders allowed outside the ring during that power play. But now we've gone past that, and past it by quite a while. And you can see the difference it makes, having those fielders that the spinners can afford to almost toss one up. Just like that.
And dropped.
Oh, he's disappointed in himself. But you know what? That was hit with some power.
Oh, that was right back at his sternum. And I think he did well to get hands to it, but wasn't able to hold on.
A far straighter bat. Just playing it out on the offside. Takes the single.
Yeah, so good bowling from Karp this over, as we saw good bowling from O'Brien in the last one.
You can see Karp again is another one shaking the hand. That one probably left a little bit of a buzz in his fingers.
Yeah, a bit of a chill in the hands. Might make it slightly painful.
Yeah, tossed that one up, hit back at him, and he had his fingers pointed upwards. And I think that forced the ball down when it hit his hands with such force.
Wasn't able to catch the wicket off his own bowling, but still a very good over for Karp's final over. Just 1 run off it. And he ends his spell 31 runs from 4 overs. So he's done his job today.
Niall, when you get a second, you wouldn't drop it down by Well, unsurprisingly, they're letting O'Brien go again. Took 2 wickets in his last over.
Well, why not? Let it ride. 12 overs in the books, 117 for 5. So now here we go. Can North Leinster hang on to their wickets and get the runs they need to get themselves over? They need another 89. No, 79.
79 from 8
Yeah.
overs. That required rate now creeping towards 10 and over.
It's an appeal from the fielder furthest away.
Optimistic appeal, but why not? The umpire only needs to hear one.
Brian walks back to his mark and runs in. Batter steps forward, drives that one to the onside. Deep fielder there. Just 1 run.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
momentum has been knocked, or the wind out of the sails, should we say, and now the boat is sort of just bobbing in the water.
Yeah, two unsettled batters, relatively new at the crease. They're going to have to get themselves in and then figure out when they want to go for it.
The required rate has crossed the 10 runs and over barrier. That's nicely played down the ground, but again, the South Leinster fielders are there. The dulcet tones of one Gordon
Clark's
in the nets.
Command voice.
Shazad and McNally, well, the team need them to put together a good partnership here now, and to do so quickly.
Yeah, not a lot of time to get yourself settled.
This is the first time I've noticed that the run rate is less than the run rate required. As I say, it just goes to show, I think, that South Leinster is starting to tighten and the control over this game.
It's a fine balance because you need the time to get yourself set, but the longer you wait, the harder it will be.
Big balancing act required by North Leinster now. There's another dark grey cloud approaches from the west. Really should have a word with Galway about the weather they send us.
Well, yeah, I think this is a heat wave coming, right? So
that's what I've heard.
Yeah,
but an Irish heat wave.
Yeah, that's true. That's through the batter into the hands of the wicketkeeper.
And that's exactly what O'Brien's looking for. Just forcing the batsman to do things that he doesn't particularly want to.
Yeah, when you swing so hard that you pull down the rubber grip on the end of your bat, you have to knock it back down with your palm.
Well, this time he strays onto the legs of the batsman, and McNally not going to miss out on that. And he finds the boundary, you see, just there for him. And it disappeared a lot quicker than it arrived to the batsman. And the fielder was very quick to signal the 6.
Yeah, he finds the boundary and the construction site beyond. That was very, very good shot.
Super shot. And after 13 overs then, the score has moved on to 126. And again, although I'm muttering and moaning about the rate slowing and the fact that they're sort of falling a little bit behind now and they have lost 5 wickets, they do still find themselves ahead in terms of runs of where South Leinster were at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right, but it's one of those things that the numbers are not the vibe. The vibe tells one story, which is I feel like South Leinster's in the lead, but by the numbers. But it's coming down to the wickets and how much faith you have in the batting ability of this North Leinster tail. And by all means, I'm sure there's some excellent young batters on this team. They wouldn't be here if they weren't.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they're also facing top-class bowling as well.
Well, that's it, isn't it? This is the cream of youth talent in the province.
Hot shot through the hands of the inner fielder. Two fielders chase after it. There's a dive. Unsuccessful. That's going to go for 4.
Well, Shazad will feel a little bit better now. 8 off 10. And just 41 deliveries left and 66 required. It's not out of the realms of possibility, especially these days.
Yeah, this North Leinster team has 3 Shirzads and a partridge in a pear tree. Now it's pushed to the offside to rotate the strike. I think that Shirzad is the number 14 who had that spectacular kind of volleyball catch that we saw earlier. Could be wrong, though. I need to see his number again.
That's still the champagne moment for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
The way he parried that ball up and kept an eye on it and managed to dive underneath it and collect the catch is our champagne moment thus far.
Big swing of the bat. That's in the air. That's going to go all the way for 6. That hits the pavilion. So McNally and Shirzad, when we say we're looking for them to move, that's exactly what they do.
Well, they need to, and McNally very nicely finding that short boundary down to the clubhouse. This time he goes on the offside, and this one also finds safe turf.
They're coming back for 2, but they'll safely make it.
Carpe with a nice bit of fielding back to the keeper. Bruce Whaley's done a nice tidy job behind the sticks today. It's good to see.
Yeah, we don't get to see Bruce as much as we used to, but we know what he can do.
Didn't he show that in the first innings? Scored 47 before he pulled out.
Oh, hard hit ball on the ground. Inner ring fielder gets a hand to it. Deep fielder chases a dive, keeps it in.
What a throw back. The keeper only had to move 1 foot. So to take that on the full.
Fantastic deep fielding. Both the pursuit, the speed, the dive, and then the throw to restrict that to 2. That could have easily been a triple. And we're counting these individual runs as we come down to the end.
Just 57 required. Johnson in again, left arm spin.
No pace on that, but he didn't need it. He waited, rocked back, and split the 2 deep fielders. He's deposited that ball into the bush. That's a lovely job of waiting, kick back, kick that leg out, smack.
Patience going onto the back foot and having the patience to wait for the ball to arrive to him. Meant he could place it anywhere he wanted to. And the score now moves on to 143 for 5. And suddenly South Leinster, I feel, now will start getting a little bit nervous.
Well, now I have to revise my vibes.
Yeah.
See, now it just feels like, you know.
A couple of shots and the whole
Yeah.
game seems to change again.
Yeah, 3-4 swings of the bat, and the momentum swings back to North Leinster. I think it's great, though. It's good for an exciting finish here. It feels finely poised. As it gets a little bit grayer here, which you can't tell on your screen because these cameras pick up as much light as available. It's grayer than it looks.
But of course, no shadows on the pitch will tell you how much sun there is.
Yeah. No shadow without a light. Oh, yeah, the scoreboard. Yeah. Johnson returns. That's a beautiful little daub into very, very, very fine third. Kicked in. That'll be 2 runs. Oh, that was he just kissed it.
Again, live scoring, I think, has dropped behind us. Just tossed up there, and it's just delicately placed beyond the keeper. There's no way the keeper could get that to that. And it flew away very nicely.
That was a fine shot. Catches that on the full, and it's through the inner ring fielder. Looks like it'll just be 1.
They'll just take the single to that.
Yeah, so some of that energy is being sucked out of this South Leinster fielding group as they're starting to do their own mental math out there. They need a breakthrough.
Well, McNally's the one they're looking for. He's striking at 220 at the moment. Oh, nicely played away. That is a late shot. I mean, it had nearly gone past his bat, and he just managed to push it round the corner.
A late shot and a run that didn't need to be a run, though. That was a misfield, unfortunately.
And it's gone very dark here now at Sydney Parade, but that dark cloud is passing rather quickly. One hopes it does so without leaving any rain behind. Be a shame for this one to go down to DL now.
Ah, yeah, we want to see the real finish.
Live scoring catching back up now, and then going backwards again.
Well, I think this is Forkin because we haven't seen him bowl yet. This is his first over.
Chopped away, bottom edge, takes all the pace off it. The speed of the fielder coming in ensures that there's no second taken. Well, the question the South Leinster skipper has at this stage is, do I go back to pace? But pace was where you conceded your runs. Do I find more spinners?
I think you go back to pace against these two batters because a lot of the runs you gave up against pace were against guys who are gone now, and these two are seeing the spin pretty well at this point. Well, that's the end of 15.
That's a very good over for South Leinster. Just 7 runs coming from it. 150 is on the board now.
And just 36 required. From 30 deliveries. I mean, that's more than very doable.
Oh, very much so. 46 off
46,
5. And it looks like they're following your instructions, Charlie, and they're returning to pace now.
I think this is the right call. I think you wanna take it to these two.
Well, North Leinster just want to take this game as deep as they can now. 5 overs to go. If after 3 overs and with 2 left, they've got half the runs. If they can get 23 off the next 3 and 23 off the last 2, that sees them home.
I think you want a little bit of pace here. Go at these batters. Give them something to think about.
Oh my goodness, that's going to hit the boundary. And that is going to be a no ball, a free hit, 5 extra runs onto the total, and that will be very welcome. Oh my goodness, that was, well,
I think that was
not where he intended.
No, I think that was a changeup that didn't come off.
Yeah, just
he
slipped out of his hand.
He wanted to roll the hands, and it didn't. Or roll the fingers, and it didn't work.
And now they have a free hit. Another no ball, possibly. It was also up there, and it's another boundary. Just declared to be a full toss on this occasion.
Yeah, I think that's
there. It is. That is just wide, and Whaley with very little chance of collecting that one. And then this is the follow-up. And again, very full.
Yeah, Ford just needs to take a minute and clear the mechanism here.
He just needs to refocus on what he wants to do. He goes with the shorter delivery. Man around the corner will make sure it's just a single.
Do you think that's what he was going for this whole time?
I think so.
Yeah, he wanted to...
It's just a slower delivery.
Yeah.
He's not looking to bowl with full pace with these deliveries at the moment. I have a feeling live scoring is going to have to go backwards again, because this is not Peter Forkin.
No.
Seagull lands on the pitch and starts picking at his dinner. There he is, just coming onto your screen. He obviously reckons plenty of food out there at this time of night. Well, Shazad and McNally.
It's in the air, fielder running over. Diving play, but not able to come. I mean, that would have been some catch, but
Our champagne moment would have changed there, Charlie, if he'd taken this one, because he covered 20, 30 yards to get to it and then put in a fine dive, one hand, and in fact didn't really get close enough.
And no one's going to fault that effort, but wasn't able to. I mean, I don't think he could have gotten there. So tough over for Ford. Started with that no ball, and then has only seemed to have gotten worse.
Another full toss. But he gets away with this one. Dot ball. So now Ford really needs to get this right.
Yeah, I feel like this is the kind of linchpin over here.
Well, they've taken 14 off the first 4 balls.
Yeah.
And this is the sort of over that they were looking for to get them right back into this now. And that's a better ball from Ford. Once he uses the dance floor to his advantage. But with 1 ball left in this over, and then 4 overs, 25 deliveries then to get 32, which is well within North Leinster's capabilities. This now has really built up into a fine finish. We hope many of you have joined us today and are enjoying this exhibition of cricket from the under-23s Siggins District Cup. Jer, I hope, is watching. Is he here?
16 in the books. North Leinster 165 for 5. So far, McNally and Shirzad holding on to their wickets and not just surviving, but thriving, particularly off that last over. Because we talked about the big risk coming into these last 5 overs was just the amount of resources that North Leinster had available.
Yep.
And so far, these batters are looking pretty confident.
Well, these two now have put on a 50 partnership, and it was what they needed when they needed it.
Yeah.
And again, this is the sort of thing that selectors notice. If you were going to pick a full Leinster side now based on this game, it's stuff like that that selectors look at, and attitudes in the field, and how quickly you run your singles, and how you react if you put a catch down, or how you react if you don't put a catch down. So, you know, there's so much still to be fought for here. 7 3/4 per over will actually see North Leinster home. And McNally and Shirzad, well, could they be the pair to take this away from South Leinster?
Cries of catch it.
Oh, that is a fine catch. That was caught. That's one of those ones where you put your hands on the ground and the ball lands in them. That's a fine catch. Nice shot. Flipped around the corner from McNally, but unfortunately it was in the air and it travelled all the way down towards Conn's Nook, and the fielder down there did a fine job of taking that catch.
Yeah, a shoestring catch if I've ever seen one. We'll hopefully get a good look at it here. Ooh, well done. Went down to the elbows. Beautiful. So now here we go. Here we go.
Is that another change in fortunes for these two teams? It was a nice manufactured shot round the corner, but it was an even better catch down in the deep.
And that was McNally, who had been out there for longer. So now Shirzad has a new partner, Langan. And South Leinster have a little bit of hope.
Well, 31 off 23. Tosh picking up a wicket with his first delivery, but that very easily could have spilled from the fielder, gone for 4, and then you're looking at 27 required.
Tonge's first delivery to welcome the new batter, Langan. It's short for no run.
And it's well bowled by Mark Tonge. We saw him earlier on with the bat, open the batting with Bruce Whaley. And if you didn't see that knock, it's worth going back to the start of this broadcast in your own time and just watching how Tonge took on the bowlers and took South Leinster off to a flashing start of 92 opening partnership off just 8 overs. That's good pace, getting past the outside edge. And this is where bringing back the pace with the lower order batsman pays off. Langan unable to get bat onto ball on that occasion.
Yeah, bats that just aren't yet at the speed of the game are the ones that you're looking to attack. I always look to see how a bowler takes on a batter who's new at the crease. Those first couple deliveries, it's a key time. Bat on ball there, but right at the fielder, and it's caught.
And this is the problem for North Leinster. They're in their minds, they're in full pursuit of this total. And as a result, when they don't middle one, the South Leinster fielders are finding themselves taking catches.
Limited resources come back to haunt North Leinster here. Still have some bats to come, and we'll see how this finish goes. But I think it's, we talked about how that 16th over might have been the linchpin, but maybe it was really the first delivery of the 17th, that manufactured shot off the toes, and then that beautiful catch in the deep, inches above the grass, might end up being the difference.
It certainly has turned things in South Leinster's favour, and they will be pleased. And especially playing in South Leinster, they certainly want to hang on to this one and send North Leinster back across the Liffey without the victory. And you can see the disappointment of the batsman. He knew.
Tonge continues. Another good delivery, taking on the batter, who drops and runs and scampers for one to bring Shahzad back on.
Well, it's Shahzad and Shahzad now.
Okay. Yeah, the partridge in a pear tree.
And that's the shot, and he just didn't get enough of it. You can see when he plays the shot, he's actually more on the back foot than the front foot, so that his body weight isn't going into the shot as well, and that reduces the power tremendously. That's well bowled by Tonge. She's not going to mind singles. South Leinster won't mind singles. 29 then required off 3.
17 overs in the books. 167 off 7 for North Leinster. Setting up to be an interesting finish. We'll see what the Shahzads can do.
Well, there's been 3 overs in this game where 2 wickets have fallen. It happened in the South Leinster innings early on. And then O'Brien did it in the 11th of this innings. And now it's been done again in the 17th. And that has put real pressure on North Leinster now. Just 29 required from 3 overs.
Yeah, in the 16th, North Leinster scored, 14, 15 runs. But then in the 17th, South Leinster took 2 wickets. I'd much rather be the one taking 2 wickets than scoring 14, 15 runs.
Well, it happened to South Leinster. The 15th over, they scored 16 and then lost 2 wickets. Oh, the bowler got his hand to that. It certainly has saved the boundary. That was racing down the track. The bowler got a hand to it. I almost thought there was going to be a run out at the non-striker's end. It come off the bowler and broken the stumps, because North Leinster are backing up so far, as they need to at this stage.
So the run rate required and the run rate are nearly identical now, 9.8-ish if we're rounding. So this is that finely poised time here in the...
Who's going to be the hero? Nicely played out in the offside. But a couple of fielders, even if the fielder in the ring had missed it, they would still only have got a single. Falcon it is from the nursery end. And this is a good move again, because it's forcing the North Leinster batsman to put power onto the ball. You're not giving them the momentum. That's a nice shot down to the far corner. We've seen that fielder a couple of times, but on this occasion, he just watched it sail over his head. And that's a big 6. So the runs required comes down to 21.
Yeah, much needed boundary, as they all are. That one stayed low and in the arc, as they might say. And that's sent for a ride by Shahzad.
Whaley missing out on this one, but O'Brien comes round and will stop any more than a single. It is a wide though, so 2 onto the total. 19 required now from 15 deliveries.
And it would be 14 if not for the penalty runs.
Yes. Yes.
Tucked around the corner, quick call of 2. I don't think they're going to do it.
It's not there for a second.
The taller Shahzad was not running 2.
So many thanks for joining us this evening on this Cricket Leinster production. That's big. It's down towards the clubhouse, but the fielder is there, takes the catch, and that is the end of Y Shazad. He goes for 27. The 8th wicket falls with 178 on the board, and you get the feeling 3 wickets having fallen in the past 2 overs. Now with 14 balls left, 18 required.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
13 balls left.
Yeah, Shirzad was the settled batter and had been doing more damage.
There's the one that was nearly the run out. And then this one here. Falcon tossing it wide. The batsman not getting the
Didn't get the hands
sweet
to
spot.
it. Yeah.
And as a result, it fell short of the clubhouse, but not short of the fielder. 8 down then, 18 required from 13 deliveries. And what a finish we've had here tonight in Sydney Parade. In this Siggins U23 District Cup. Morris, we saw him earlier with ball in hand. And all he can do is keep that one out. 18 overs gone, 178 for 8. What do they need now then, Charlie?
I got a feeling about this Morris. He strikes me as a wily player. Spinner who can bat.
You've got 2 overs to go, they're 18. How many do you think they need off this over to make the last one possible?
One swing of the bat changes the complexion of this completely. An early boundary in this over.
The umpire has dropped a jumper behind him. He's realised it. He's picked that up. He'll have a
I think
hold on to it now.
I don't know. My feelings are going to change ball by ball here. It's very finely poised.
Anything more than 6 in this over leaves a final over full of suspense.
And that's a good start of a dot for Tanj. Here bowling in the critical 19th over.
Running back to the mark.
Running back to his mark to avoid penalty runs.
Absolutely.
Very well observed.
Absolutely. If the penalty runs came off.
That's picked up off the feet. Fielders there. They're going to run through for 1. And that'll bring Morris on. Wearing red pads. He finds middle stump. Gets confirmation. Gets himself set. 10 balls remaining. 17 required.
Any sort of boundary.
Morris swings late at that one.
The best thing Morris could do here, in my opinion, is just guide it down to 3rd. As close to the keeper as you dare. There's a boundary down there. Or cow corner anywhere square on the leg side. The leg bye is taken. And well done by Whaley to get round to stop that. And that will bring up 180. Imagine that. We've seen 370 runs plus.
8 deliveries remain.
Oh, well played, sir. That was a good bouncer, but he didn't take his eyes off it and guided it down to 3rd. But singles aren't what they want now.
Yeah, there's gonna need to be an individual bit of magic.
There's Bruce's stop, saving another run or 2.
In comes Tanj.
Morris giving himself room.
Fielders running here to avoid any penalty runs, 5 of which were
6
penalty runs, excuse me, were given to South Leinster earlier because of overrate.
And could that be the difference in this game? Because with just 1 over to go, score 181, just 3 coming from that over. An excellent over, and 15 now required from these 6 deliveries to be bowled. It's definitely going to be pace anyway. No spinner comes with that run up.
First delivery is short and hard. and through for a dot. I think we're going to see a steady diet of that the next 5 deliveries. What do you do with that to try to hit a boundary?
Well, you see,
Dunk it over your head?
I think this is where the shots that Dinosaur me was never fond of, but I think that that's the way that these lower order batsmen can find the boundary. Oh, that was a super delivery from Ford. Another dot ball, 4 to go now, 15 still required. It's still within North Leinster's own hands, but that's a super slower delivery and
A lovely slower Yorker on 3rd and a half stump from Ford. Complete opposite of the previous delivery. It's given Shahzad a lot to think about here. He's got a lot of runs to score and only 4 balls to do it in.
he's got hold of that one. It's gone a long way, and that is the maximum. And that suddenly brings it down to 9 off 3. And this is an absolute thriller here in Sydney Parade. Cream against cream of the under-23s in the province. And it's far, far tighter than anyone would have imagined.
Yeah,
9 to go from
Mohammad
3 balls.
Shahzad stands his ground here, twirls, and takes that chin-high bouncer and deposits it for 6. Here comes Ford.
He's
That's
gone
in the air.
big again, and it's another maximum, and it's another 6, and now they need 3 runs from 2 deliveries.
Ball by ball. Ball by ball, Craig, like I said. My goodness. This is Mohammad Shahzad.
He missed a couple, but by golly, he's middled the last 2, and he has brought North Leinster right back into this game, and suddenly the North Leinster players on the sideline are no longer sitting back on their seats. They're on the edge of their seats or standing and waiting to see if Shahzad can finish this off for them. 3 required from 2. Just a boundary required. Ford, he's been expensive. And he's taken out leg stump with an absolute gem of a delivery. 9 down, 193 on the board. Still 3 required from the final ball, and it will be the number 11 coming in, attempting to score those runs. No time to play yourself in here. 1 ball to go, 3 required. And what a super game of cricket this has been. We have seen everything here. Great catches, champagne moment, 6s and 4s all over the place. But equally, the bowlers, when required and when called upon, have done what's required. Right. And this is Ford. What bravery to put that one out of the back of the hand. And it took the leg stump as Shahzad was looking for the fence once again. His partner was almost beside him when he was swinging at that one. They were definitely taking 1 anyway.
That shows a lot of guts from Ford, because that delivery, when it didn't work off, went for 5 no balls earlier. So now 1 ball for all the marbles.
And
number 11.
Again, if North Leinster had bowled their overs within the allotted time, they've now reached.
They've won.
They've won. And what a difference that makes.
My God. The number 11 batter.
2 for a super over, Niall would normally tell us at this stage.
Killian McGrain will face Ford.
He started the game with the ball in his hand, and he's going to end the game with the ball and his bat. Now, whether it's for the win, the tie, or the defeat, all 3 options still very much in play.
McGrain waits. Ford takes his mark.
McGrain looking to the leg side, one feels here. And they will walk it in, and they will win by 1 run. And South Leinster get home in a chaotic fashion. Ford dropping the short one in to the number 11. All he could do was get it away from his body, and they got through for the single, but they couldn't take the second. And as a result, South Leinster win by 1
run. Well, how about that? What a finish.
Wow.
These two teams of selected under 23 players from across the province, and just one run in it.
Oh, what a finish to what a game. If you were here or you were online with us, thank you very much for joining us, and we hope you enjoyed that as much as we did. Didn't that fluctuate one way and another? And finally, South Leinster home by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah.
By bowling quickly.
Yeah, the running to the mark in the 18th and 19th overs could have made the difference. But, you know, I guess those are the lessons that young cricketers, even at any level, need to learn. But I mean, golly, what a finish.
We'll take you through the entire game. I'll take you through the batting for South Leinster. There it is there. Bruce Whaley and Mark Tonge putting on a standard 92 at the top. Luke Horgan, he came in and he was slow to start with, but by golly, he caught up and passed out his scoring rate, and 41 off 28. Then Tristan De Beer at the end was his 13, but by and large, it was the performance at the top of the card that enabled South Leinster to put up a total of 195 for 9, including those extras. The 19 extras actually include those 6 penalty runs, and so only 13 extras in 20 overs shows a very good bowling performance.
Now here's the North Leinster bowling card. It was a tough day for pace bowlers, particularly at the beginning against that early onslaught from South Leinster. The spinners, Muzamil Shermad and Brandon Morris, had the most success.
Yep, 3 for Yassine Sherrad, 3 for 45. But as you can see, it's that partnership at the beginning of 92 that provided most of the runs here. The other 8 wickets only putting on 103. So it just goes to show you how important that opening stand between Whaley and Tonge was. In reply, North Leinster, again, the openers getting off to an absolutely fabulous start. It almost seems like the openers of both teams were playing on a different wicket to everybody else, because they were played imperviously and plenty of boundaries. 49 off just 20 for Seamus Lynch and 25 off 42 for Kartik SM. John McNally came in at the end and did a good job, as did Yassine Sherrad, but it was at the end of the game, it was just 1 run too short. But the South Leinster bowling?
Yeah, South Leinster bowling was a similar story. The pace bowling up front was not as successful, and then when the spinners came in, did better. But Sean O'Brien, 2 wickets for the cost of 30 runs. Karp and Tonge as well, with some really good overs towards the end. But let's not take away any flowers from Thomas Ford with his with that back of the hand delivery on the 119th ball of the game to kind of ice it for South Leinster. Some very courageous bowling.
Yes, indeed. And Mark Tonge, for me, definitely player of the match. He had a superb day with bat and ball, picking up 3 wickets for 30, in addition to half-century, which came in double quick time.
Ooh,
there is your interlinking.
There's my interlocking worm.
And look how close it is at the end.
I love a worm that weaves, and this chart will tell you everything you need to know about just how close this was. You can see the afterburners put on in the very beginning in the power play, then wickets taken in those middle overs slowed everything down, and then the push at the end by both teams to try to put on the highest total. And really the difference in this is the extras, those penalty runs.
Very much so. And, well, hopefully it'll be a lesson learned for North Leinster. Player of the match, as I say, unnamed here on your screen, but I would offer up Mark Tonge for a half-century and 3 wickets. So South Leinster win by 1 run, and what a great competition, and what a great game to watch in that competition. The District Cup under-23s, the J.S. Siggins under-23 District Cup. It's a matter of getting the right words in the right order. So thank you very much for joining us as Niall has done a sterling job once again. There is your match summary, and by 1 run, South Leinster have won this game. That is the last delivery for number 11. What a ball to get. First one when you needed 3 to win and 2 for a tie. And there was no point in even trying to run back for that one. So that's it. That's how it finishes, just as Dale Cam goes on. And Dale does his little brush up of the square post game. So thank you to Niall, thank you to Charlie, and thank you very much to Cricket Leinster for giving us this opportunity to commentate on what was a game that certainly deserved the wider audience. A super game of cricket, that, and we hope that we will see the under-23s again at some stage soon. So from Charlie, from me, from Niall, we'd like to say thank you very much for joining us, and we will talk to you and hopefully see you again soon.